Trump's decision activates a long-suspended 1996 provision of U.S.-Cuba sanctions that allows Cuban Americans to sue in U.S. courts any company that benefits from private property of theirs confiscated by Fidel Castro's regime. In a highly disturbing video, 4 black men were chained to a table in a prison, while a single white man was allowed access to a knife to brutally stab them. The graphic and hard-to-watch video is now the subject of a federal lawsuit filed earlier this month in the Southern District of Ohio. The Free Thought Project reports the 2 officers, identified only by their surnames of Fay and Dalton, laughed as 4 inmates were brutally stabbed in June of 2017, according to the suit. The cornerstone to the lawsuit is the surveillance video showing the horrifying event unfold as 4 men played cards only to be repeatedly stabbed by a psychotic and violent white supremacist. Shemaki Pugh and Maurice Lee are the plaintiffs in the lawsuit, which is seeking a modest $75,000. The suit claims the victims' civil rights were violated, including that they suffered cruel and unusual punishment because of the inaction of the prison guards. As the men are bleeding from their stab wounds, one of the guards says, quote, "We should just let them die." Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Buying a burger might start taking a bite out of your wallet. Meat prices skyrocketed this week after the place that makes the meat revealed that the cow smashing machine is all beefed up.
This machine has beef way up in it. The basher, the meat collector, even the main meat hole, all of it. Lousy with beef.
The cow smashing machine is an integral part of the meat making process, taking whole big cows into one end, with all different meats falling out the other. Supermarket chains warn that unless we start smashing cows again soon, we could face a serious beef shortage. The beef industry is working hard to unclog the cow smasher, but says it could take several days or even weeks to scoop all the beef that's crammed up in there. Until it's fixed, meat-hungry Americans can take solace in the fact that the chicken grinder is working at full capacity, just completely tearing up all those chickens, and the pig machine is porking out hardcore. Up next, bluesmen find a rising trend of their babies done leaving on that their old devil train.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live, and you can join us here. Just dial in toll-free and take control of the airwaves where you can bring up anything that's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm, so head over there. Jump into one of those rooms, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Tonight in that studio, it's Ian,
Chris, and Vincent.
Chris, we're going to start out with another disturbing story that you brought in about Facebook and government and some sort of license to access Facebook in Austria?
Yeah, it's sort of as crazy as that. Yeah, it's ID, requiring ID, some sort of ID to be submitted to your social media companies in order to access social media.
Now, to some extent, Facebook has already implemented this. There was a time just sort of on their own volition.
Do you have a story of your own? Is that what you're going to talk about?
I have a story of someone I know.
Oh, okay, because I'd love to hear this too. Because somebody was thinking that you were actually kicked off Facebook for not supplying ID, but I didn't think that was correct.
That never happened to me.
Okay.
But there were some people who had changed their names on Facebook to like John Voluntarist. So they would
Freeman.
I don't know if any Freemans got caught up in it because it didn't catch me. But Voluntarist was a name that got on that list somehow of Facebook targeting anyone with Voluntarist in their name and sending them a notice saying, we don't believe you're using your real name on Facebook and we require that you use your real name. So you will need to show us a copy of your ID that has the name Voluntarist on it in order for us to keep your account in active status. And or you can change it to your real name, and I think they might have still required to show ID just to change it to whatever other name they wanted to change it to. So basically, at that point, everybody with a questionable name, and it wasn't just voluntary,
a questionable sounding name, because just because it's I mean, if it doesn't. Yeah, anyway.
You could have been given that name by your parents.
Right, exactly.
Facebook didn't believe that you were, and they want you to show government ID to prove this. And this was a few years back, maybe even several years ago. It feels like it's been 4 or 5 years since I heard about this happening. So all I'm saying is here, it sounds like Facebook already had done this sort of on their own volition, or maybe it was the government who asked them to do it.
I haven't really read deeply into the story, so I don't know the details. But I think, from the sounds of it, it sounds like it's going to be for everybody who wants to use social media, presumably in Austria. So
let's hear it.
All right. So government seeks to eliminate internet anonymity with severe penalties.
And where's this from? I'm sorry.
This is from, let's see, I think it's Der Standard.
Is that a European,
I think this is
German?
Actually a translation of of an article that was in Germany.
German, yeah. Der Standard sounds German.
Yeah. Okay, wait a minute.
There's also other news that's related from CNET.com about the UK ready to unleash an internet safety czar on Google, Facebook, and Twitter. So if you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733.
So, Chris, there's a Daily Mail article here. Do you think that'd be better? Because a lot of the time, the Google translation or whatever is makes it difficult.
No. This wasn't a Google translated article. This was somebody actually translated it who knew what they were talking about. So okay. I have it here. We can go ahead and start. Sorry, I was in German at first. I was like, what's going on? I knew I had an English version, but okay. So users of online forums in Austria will have to provide operators with their true identities or risk fines that could run into the millions. Now, I do have to wonder, does that mean the operator
gets the fine or the user gets the fine? Yeah, it's not clear.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the operator because millions.
The average user can't pay $1 million or whatever.
Right, and the operator would have to, be the one to enforce it. So it's, Those in Australia wishing to post content on the internet in the future will no longer be able to do so anonymously. According to the government's new draft law on diligence and responsibility on the web, users will have to provide their first name, last name, and address to platform operators. In the event of an investigation, operators would then have to supply that information to government agencies, or in some cases, the private persons in cases of insult or defamation.
So basically, anybody with a fake ID can get an account and make it look like somebody else was posting. They would be able to post as somebody else. If I had a copy of your identification, Vincent, I could just go ahead and sign up on one of these sites. And what's to stop me from doing that? What's to stop fake accounts from being created with identification?
Humorously, it says that you can actually still use a pseudonym. So it's not to tie names to addresses. It's so that police can go and arrest people they basically don't like, or
who violates all these online social media hate speech laws. That's probably it, because they have a lot of those in the EU and Germany and Austria.
Yeah, it doesn't affect all platforms. It affects any platform that has more than 100,000 registered users. Or I guess earn more than 500,000 euros in annual revenues, or receives government press subsidies of more than 50,000 euros.
Well, if they're receiving a subsidy from the government, I can't say I feel bad for them.
Yeah, but 50,000 euros is really not that much.
No, it's not.
Mean, it's like no more than probably $70,000 US. So it's, I would not want to be taking money from the government if I had to, because it's probably going to take more than 50,000 euros to implement some sort of ID. I mean, every single person has to be ID. That's going to be expensive.
But this only applies to sites that have over 100,000 users, you said.
I don't know if it's all three of these are required. I think it's any one of them.
Okay.
See, according to the draft law, the platforms would also have to have a responsibility for determining if the ID information provided users is accurate. So, I mean, basically, they're definitely going to have you scan your ID in or something to that effect, or have somebody, with the webcam, pull up your ID on the webcam and show a physical person probably. I know that's what they're doing for FinCEN related stuff in some cases. I don't know if that's across the board these days they're doing it that way, or if scanning an ID is still acceptable solution. Maybe it depends, but how they choose to do so is left up to the platforms themselves. Though the annotation to the draft law mentions the use of dual-factor authenticate. Wow. By way of so it sounds like they're going to have to use multiple means of identifying somebody. So not only would they require an ID, but they'll also require somebody to verify their phone number. So they'll probably send an SMS message, and then you'll have to with a code, and then you'll have to respond with the verification in the SMS message to the provider. So they'll be able to tie you to both a license and a
phone number,
mm-hmm. or some other
Right. So if you don't have a phone number, you don't get to be on the internet.
Yeah, basically. Since the beginning of the year, all SIM cards in Australia have had to be registered with a photo ID. Oh, wow. They've already got some really insane requirements. Now, I've heard of this in Mexico, actually. And what's really funny is in Mexico, I don't remember exactly what the numbers were, but there were a significant number of users, I'm thinking thousands and thousands of users who registered as the president because they have to ID. So
where did they do this?
This was in Mexico.
I know, but on which site did they register as the president?
No. Phone. So basically, in order to get a SIM card in Mexico, you have to ID yourself to the person selling it to you.
Yeah.
And register your name with them and stuff. Well, apparently it wasn't a very good system because thousands of people were registering as the president
of Mexico.
The day the law came into effect.
Wow.
So even though people were registering,
did the person at the phone store not know they were giving the name of the president?
I don't know. Who knows?
Can you imagine the look you would get if you went into a phone store and tried to claim your name was Donald Trump as you tried to open an account?
The thing is, Mexico is so corrupt. It's not a Western style democracy that holds corruption up as this thing where we're going to throw you in jail for the rest of your life if you somehow accept bribes. It's kind of the status. It's the
they're more open about accepting bribes and being corrupt than they are in the U.S. or Europe or any of these.
No, I don't necessarily.
The other countries are just as corrupt. They're just not as open.
Its model of government is Western.
I don't know.
It's like a presidential.
I don't know that's true. If you look at. If you look at Eastern countries, and you pass some sort of security guy, you have to bribe him if you want to continue. I have never seen anything like that in the U.S., and it's the same thing.
We're talking about politicians. That's who I was talking about.
Okay, well, I'm talking about just corruption in general, not necessarily politicians.
I'd rather give a cop a $20 bill than have to go to court.
Sure,
to me, this system's just as corrupt. There's just a sort of patina of legitimacy on it. More coming up here. Free Talk Live.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Hop on into one of those over at discord.lrn.fm. We're talking about the disturbing trend towards less anonymity on the internet. More sites demanding identification, in some cases in concert with government laws that are mandating it, in some cases just because they want to help the government and they haven't mandated it. They're just obedient, like the Facebook CEO calling just a few weeks ago, calling publicly for a government regulation of all social media. And he wanted it to be a global government regulation. He wanted all the regulations to be uniform across the entire planet.
That's not going to happen. He's going to get a patchwork of laws is what he's going to end up with, and it's going to be impossible for anybody to comply with. That's smaller than basically Facebook.
Right. By the way, I do want you to know about the Edge wallet. It is a great wallet. It's the one that I use more than any other cryptocurrency wallet, and it's available for both iOS and Android. You can easily buy, sell, trade, and, of course, hold on to your favorite cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and more. In fact, a bunch of them I haven't even heard of. Go check out edge.app. Secure your freedom with edge.app. And by the way, it is user-controlled. You are in control of your wallets on Edge. That means if you lose your password, they can't help you because they don't have it. They have no way of resetting your password. So it's super important with wallets like this. You have to write down your username and password. Keep it in a safe place. Because if you lose your phone, you don't want to just have that being the only copy of Edge you have. You want to have your username and password backed up because phones break, things get lost. You don't want that to happen to you. Even if it's just a small amount of crypto, you'll feel bad if you lose it. So do the backup process. Go to edge.app. It's a great app. I use it all the time. That's edge.app. Or go through your favorite Google or Apple app stores and download it that way. So Chris from thinkpenguin.com, you've been sharing with us this story about Austria. There have been a lot of bad news out of Australia, but this is Austria
right. And
mandating identification.
The person who I actually got the story from thought it was Australia. Because just like I was
mistake.
like last week they passed a law. Something I'm trying to think what the law said was specifically, but it was Australia had this crazy law that they passed in reaction to the shooting in New Zealand. So it's unfortunately, they're using these terrible like shootings and things as an excuse to pass all these laws, and I think that's kind of where this also is coming from. So the law provides for significant monetary penalties if platforms don't conform to the law. Depending on the severity of the violation, fines could reach as high as 500,000 euros and could rise to €1 million if the offense reoccurs.
Wow.
The Australian Communications Authority, more commonly known as Austria,
that's the FCC over there, right?
Would be responsible for enforcement of the law, which also applies to forums such as those operated by Standard. I don't know what that means. E-commerce platforms are exempt, however, as are platforms.
Standard is the name of the website.
Is it?
Remember, it was like Standard something or other.
I got you. Yes, you're right.
German
You're right.
website. So they're saying this would apply to their forums.
Yep. Let's see here. E-commerce platforms are exempt as are now. This gets really hilarious. Not yet. But as platforms that earn no revenue, well, they all earn revenue because some sort of money has to cover the costs of the servers, either from their content or from advertising. Look, you can't operate a site if you don't have the funds of any size anyway, if you don't have the funds coming in order to operate the site.
Yeah, but is it, look, I'm not a tax expert or anything like that, but is it revenue if you're just subsidizing a thing? That thing doesn't necessarily have revenue. Like the web server that I pay for, the server that hosts freetalklive.com also hosts a dozen other websites.
That's true, but they say no revenue, and it kind of makes it sound like
most of my websites have no revenue.
Yeah, but we're not
talking.
We're not talking about platforms like that. We're talking about platforms that are a little bit.
System.
Like there's actually users and
there's employees.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to get money to pay for
there's
something.
There's going to be some level of revenue. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to continue to operate. I don't think. So this is where it gets kind of humorous. So the whole reason for this law is like right wing nut jobs like shooting up schools and mosques and things like that. So this is why this is sort of funny. And I'm not saying that the mosques getting shut up are funny, just that this does not apply to them, it turns out. So right-wing sites exempted. Yeah, you heard that.
How's that?
The exemption, however, also extends to sites that have often been criticized in the past for allowing hate posts to remain online, such as the platform Unzensurriert.at, which is linked to the Freedom Party of Austria, the right-wing populist party that is the OVP's junior coalition partner in the current government.
So that's a bunch of political talk from that country that I don't understand.
I don't totally understand it either, but basically what they're saying, it sounds like, is that government is exempt, and the government
the political parties are
apparently right-wing. That's my interpretation of it, something to that effect. Yeah. So basically, if you're some sort of, political party, you're exempt.
If you're
from
in the
law.
party, you're okay.
Yeah. That just seems like so ridiculous. So basically, if somebody wants to go and set up a right-wing political party, right, in order to have a forum or something like that, they would be exempt from the law. Let's see here. Blumel justified the exemption by saying it was designed to reduce the potential burden on smaller platforms and startups that likely would be unable to afford compliance. How does that have anything to do with smaller platforms? Because that's not what they were saying here or above. They're just talking about like right-wing platform.
Either way, this is not good news.
No, this is terrible news
for people in Austria. And of course, our listeners out there might be saying to themselves, well, I'm not in Austria, so who cares?
Well, the problem is that this is not just really, this is not happening in just Austria. These laws are being passed all over the world. And we should be concerned because even though it may not be here in the United States, it's not like they're not attempting to, we already know they're attempting to pass similar types of laws in the United States.
Well, and also,
so we should be concerned and we should be, up in arms against this kind of stuff, regardless of where it happens.
And also, a lot of the times politicians would point to Europe as an example. They say, like in New Hampshire, they point to Vermont or Massachusetts, something status that they're doing that they want to do in New Hampshire.
Right.
People, federal, nationally say, oh, well, Europe is doing this. Why can't we be more like you have that Scandinavian socialism? So the more countries outside the U.S. adopt it, the more of a case, I guess, the people of a globalist or internationalist in the U.S. would have to say, we need this too. We need to keep up with the rest of the world in tyranny.
Yeah, get this. They're saying the same principles that apply to the real world must also apply to the digital world. I mean, that just sounds so ridiculous. Let's see here.
Well, to some people, that sounds reasonable. To some people, it's like, well, of course we would want the same principles to apply. We don't want this internet to be anonymous.
Do you demand ID when somebody goes to some sort of public forum? And or a protest or something like that, or where you gather. I mean, do they ask for ID when you enter a bar?
They have facial recognition cameras on cop cars, so
okay,
they don't need to.
They're asking for ID, but not for identification. They're asking for it to make sure you're over a certain age.
That's the claim.
I mean, yeah, I disagree with that as well, but it just seems ridiculous that you should be. I mean, even there, I think it's ridiculous, even for age purposes.
Do we have people out there in our audience that support the idea of having to show identification to get on a website on the internet, to converse with others, to get on a forum? On a comments section, for instance. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is the Onion Week in Review. A report by Stanford University researchers released Thursday found that Americans spend 90% of their waking hours staring at glowing rectangles. Researchers identified more than 30 varieties of iridescent rectangles, ranging from personal and work rectangles to rectangles that heat food and those that can fit right in one's pocket.
From the moment Americans wake up, they are captivated by these bright, pulsing rectangles. In fact, if you look at the data, it's hard to find a single minute when the public isn't captivated by these, I'm sorry, where were we?
In local news, a run-over squirrel is remembered as frantic and indecisive. And in other news, a trail of rose petals leads a wife to a sink full of dishes. Prince Fielder reports to spring training exactly the right amount overweight, and a local yard sale reeks of divorce. If you don't hear the sound of my voice the same time next week, alert my family and then visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can dial in toll-free here at 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you. Just head over to discord.lrn.fm and jump into one of those. We'll get you on the air with us here in the studio with you. It's Ian.
And Chris.
And Vincent.
Bitcoin.com. It's your premier source for everything Bitcoin Cash related. Bitcoin.com can help you choose a Bitcoin Cash wallet, buy Bitcoin Cash, and show you where you can spend your Bitcoin Cash. You can also read the latest news on their news site or engage with the community on their forum over at Bitcoin.com. And they also have a gaming site at games.bitcoin.com where you can play games with Bitcoin Cash. You might want to try that out. If you're in the United States, though, you might need to find a little workaround like using a VPN to be able to get into that side of the site. Just a suggestion. All right, so coming up, we can talk about, is making video games a dream job? One programmer says it is not, and he's mad about his experience working with mega game companies out there. He's demanding programmers should unionize. And as somebody who is a programmer, Chris, I imagine you're going to have some opinions about this.
Yes.
That's on the way. Plus, I think, Vincent, you had a story about this politician from Massachusetts who's got a plan to do God knows what.
Well, yeah, to reappropriate land stolen originally from the Native Americans.
Reparations, as they call it.
No, reappropriate means to do something else with it other than give it back to them.
Oh,
which knowing this politician from Massachusetts' background, one is sort of might be surprised by that.
Yeah, so we can get into that. Plus, of course, your calls and thoughts are welcome. But since you brought up this story, Chris, about in Austria, where there's now going to be a mandate on websites to collect identification from their users, I have a related story from CNET.com. We touched on this a couple of weeks ago. After it had happened in Australia, there was some talk that something similar was going to happen in the UK, and they are working on that as we speak in the UK.
Right.
They're taking a hard line when it comes to online safety, says CNET, moving to establish what it says is the world's first independent regulator to keep social media companies in check.
Now, is this the porn filter too? Because that's also happening in the UK. That's gone into effect, I think, here the other day.
I don't know. This is a new internet safety czar, and who knows what level of power this so-called czar will be granted to decide these things. But there's also that porn pass thing, the age verification thing in the UK. That
happened this week. That's why I'm wondering if this is related.
I thought they were enabling it in the summertime. It's actually started now?
I read some sort of story that that was my understanding.
That might be worth a double check, because I thought I saw a headline saying it would start.
I have the story in my Freedom Decrypted links or notes or whatever, so I could pull it up if you want.
Yeah, please do. The new measures designed to make the internet a safer place. Who could be against safety? I mean, everybody loves safety.
Think of the children. That's exactly what this is about.
You guys are okay with that? You guys like safety?
Especially how dangerous the internet's been before. I mean, I remember I get hurt all the time logging on.
I know. I've stubbed my pinky on my mouse this one time, and
connecting the dial-up, that hurt my ears really bad.
Well, they say most accidents happen in the home. According to the story here, companies that fail to live up to the requirements will face huge fines, and senior directors who are proven to be negligent will be held personally liable. They may also find access to their websites blocked. The new measures were announced jointly by the Home Office and Department of Culture, Media, and Sport. That's apparently a thing over there.
It sounds like the porn story.
The introduction of the regulator is the central recommendation of a highly anticipated government online white paper titled Online Harms, published recently in the UK. The regulator will be tasked with ensuring social media companies tackle a range of online problems, including incitement of violence and the spread of violent content, encouragement of self-harm or suicide, the spread of disinformation and fake news, cyberbullying, children's access to inappropriate material, and child exploitation and abuse content.
They've already got that. They've had it since the 90s.
What do you mean they've got it?
And the violence.
They had that since the 90s. They implemented censorship filters in the 1990s.
In the UK.
In the UK on the basis of child porn.
Well, it wasn't good enough, Chris. They clearly need more censors, more censorship. They need these big companies to be more obedient and follow along with what the government tells them.
Well, I mean, this is exactly why I was against the filters, and it wasn't just the UK. It was a bunch of countries. It's not the United States. The United States didn't do it, but a bunch of countries did it, and I don't recall exactly which ones. But there was a lot of pressure on it, and I'm like, this is exactly what leads to more serious censorship, and it undermines democracy and everything else. And it may not happen today. It may be 10 years from now, maybe 15, maybe even 20 years from now. But it always ends up going in that direction. So.
And also on the lines of a child via, children accessing things. It's not, like most regulations, it's not going to work because a lot of, I wouldn't say the majority, but a lot of the quote, mentally harmful things children access, a lot of it's on YouTube because there's these playlists and YouTube's weird algorithm. And YouTube, since it's part of Google, isn't going to be affected as, it gets its own protections and stuff. So it's not, and it's already allowed, so it's not going to do anything. It's just obviously.
You know what else I was reading here recently? Somewhere, I don't remember where it was though. So I've heard that child porn is actually now being mostly produced by children. And it's because of sexting and similar. So so apparently most of the child porn that's modern child porn that's being produced is not even being done by adults. It's being done by the children themselves.
Are you talking about self-shot photos?
Sexting, yeah.
Sexting. It's
where the person will take a picture of themselves and send that?
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm defending it, but it's so tragic that if when children get charged with it, because they don't teach you in schools about child pornography laws or what it is, right?
No, they only teach you once you get arrested.
Exactly, and ignorance of a law isn't an excuse, and so it's like these people, they have I wouldn't say good intentions, but they don't. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that law, the whole sex offender list backfired too because the sex offender law, because now we have 2/3 of the people on the list are not violent individuals who are committing rapes and things like that. It's
public urination.
It's public urination. It's children themselves who maybe took pictures of themselves to send to their partner.
It's true.
And those are the people who end up on that list, most of the people.
And once you're on there, your life is pretty much ruined. I mean, because people, you're required to tell people and everything. It's like putting, it's like a star, right? In Nazi Germany, it's like putting a label on you that says everyone hate me.
Yeah, and people don't know that it was why you're on that list. They just know if they see child porn, for example, listed somewhere next to it, they don't know that you were 15 when you took the picture.
No, they figure you're a pervert who was forcing children to do things against their will.
Right, exactly.
It's pretty crazy stuff. And if you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. For too long, these companies have not done enough to protect users, especially children and young people, from harmful content, said UK Prime Minister Theresa May in a statement. She continued, "We have listened to campaigners and parents and are putting a legal duty of care on internet companies to keep people safe." Duty of care. You have an obligation to care according to this
whatever
woman.
happened to parental responsibility? Don't give your kid,
that's
whatever.
long gone.
If that's what if you're concerned, if you're a religious fanatic, that's what was supposed to occur.
Now the idea of parenting is just set them down in front of a tablet and let them go,
or put them in a government school and just
where they get a tablet and then they can.
I think it's a small percentage of minorities who are religious minorities who are actually pushing for this kind of thing. I don't necessarily know that I've seen, and maybe I'm just not in the right crowd, but it doesn't seem like it's.
Do you have to be religious to be overprotective of children?
I don't know, but it comes off to me as that way.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's because they're loud.
In the children thing, but I'd say a lot of the online laws and stuff is from the ninnying group of people, the nanny state people for bullying, because that's the worst thing out there is online cyberbullying. Even though all you have to do is just close your computer.
It does
or
seem like the
click out
same
message.
group of people to me. But
No,
again,
it's Vanani. Like I'd say we're separate from Vanani Stayers.
Are they?
Because Vanani Stayers, a bunch of cat ladies, a bunch of disgruntled ex-hippies, a bunch of real gross, disgusting people.
Well, hold that thought. We can continue. And if you want to weigh in with your thoughts on who is into this controlling the internet thing, is it people on both the left and the right? I suspect it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
855-450 free, like freedom. Free Talk Live.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
And now, a quick comparison from Grasshopper. When a client calls, what do you want them to hear? Your personal voicemail?
Hey, you've reached Greg's cell phone. I'm away right now, obviously. Leave a message and maybe I'll get back to you.
Or something a little more buttoned up, courtesy of Grasshopper.
Thanks for calling Green Landscaping. To make an appointment, dial 1. For billing, dial 2. To speak with Greg Smith, dial 3.
There's no contest. Put your best voice forward with Grasshopper, the virtual phone system for small business. Try it free at grasshopper.com.
Blue Star medicated ointment gets 5-star reviews from our loyal users for fast relief of the pain and itch of almost any skin irritation.
Blue Star soothes insect bites and fungal infections.
It really works on the summer rashes I get every year.
I had psoriasis on my elbows. Blue Star worked wonders.
Amazing stuff. Smear a bit on and the itch is gone.
Look for the white box with the Blue Star in the first aid section. Feel Blue Star work fast or your money back.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited here if you want to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Also, we've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. jump into one of those over at discord.lrn.fm. And Discord is where you can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners. Now, we do have sort of like a glut of chat rooms these days. It used to be just one. We used to have just one IRC, Internet Relay chat room back in the day. And now we've got the Discord server, which has, probably 10 different chat rooms within it. But there's sort of like the main On Air Now channel. Then we've got the Twitch chat room where there are people chatting right now. And we've got the DLive chat room where there are people chatting. And so we literally have 3 different active main chat rooms, so it's a little bit overwhelming. But the Discord one is the main one. That's the one where it's there 24 hours a day. There are people in there pretty much around the clock. It's free, and it's even got voice chat features as well. Like I said, it's one of the ways that you can call into the show is through our Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. As we continue here, we will take your calls and thoughts about what you want. Let's go to the phones, and then we can talk more about these regulations that the UK is going to be forcing on social media, although some in social media are demanding it. They're welcoming it. They are loving the hand of government up there, so-called wherever. But let's go to Sarah first. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Yes, I'm very much in favor of the federal government raising the legal smoking age to 21.
Well, why don't you just go all the way and favor them raising it to 101?
Or banning it altogether.
Yeah, I was just saying, why don't you just banning it?
Well, I prefer it like maybe age 50.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but
Of course she is.
Yeah.
Wow.
But my
Sarah
whole
doesn't
point
joke.
is that
She doesn't.
I don't think I've ever heard Sarah joke. Crack a joke.
This is just absolutely insane what she's suggesting. How is it that she can even think
she
that
wants
this
to save people. She wants to help. It's right back around to this mentality. So we were asking the question about who wants to protect the children. Sarah is a hard left communist, and she wants to protect the children here. She wants to save people all the way up to age 50.
Even the communists smoke. Like, I don't understand this. Like,
well, the thing is, how about this? I am tortured by secondhand smoke.
So it's personal.
Well, the thing is, it's one thing if it's if it only bothers themselves, but they always bother everybody around them. They have to breathe it in. That's the problem. That's where I'm in support of it.
You don't have to go near those people, though.
Yeah, it seems like ridiculous. Smokers have gotten so much more conscientious of the fact that other people don't want to be around them in the past 20 years. It's nothing like it was, I remember when, smoking was in the restaurants and everything else. Well, now people can't even go outside and smoke. I mean, it's just, and people never smoke in, even before it was the law where I don't even know if this is the law everywhere, but like you can't smoke in the car with like your kids and stuff. I mean, people already weren't smoking in the cars with their kids, and they were going outside of their own homes to smoke because they had kids and things like that. I mean, the idea that we need to have laws on all this just is ridiculous.
Well, I want to bring in an expert on the subject here. We've got Dave calling from Poughkeepsie, New York. Dave, you're on with Sarah. Now, Dave, I'd like to know how you feel about this proposal from Sarah. Dave, are you with us? I want to make sure you can hear us. Dave, we may have some.
I can hear him barely.
I hear him very slightly.
Maybe I don't know what's going on. The board up there may be something wrong with the lines are crossed in a way that is not going to work. Dave, says he's working on it. All right, we're going to put you back on hold.
So I heard him say in the background very faintly,
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah. We can, but it's not airable. So stand by, Dave. We're going to come back to you. That's too bad. I really wanted to get Dave to weigh in on this. It's very rare that we'll have two of the most interesting callers to Free Talk Live
who both
on
happen
hold
to
at
be
the same
parasites to this day.
Yeah, that's a good point. They can relate. I was actually hoping to hook them up. Maybe.
No, they don't need to breed in. We don't need more of those people out there.
Go ahead, Sarah. All right, so
I just want to mention,
this is personal. You just want to stop people from smoking nearby you, basically.
Well, the thing is, one thing I wanted to bring up is that, Hawaii is the only state that started it. And like you said, Massachusetts and maybe a couple of other states want to pass it, and our state want to work on it. So there's another 5 states want to make it 21, and now the whole federal government wants to make a national law.
Yeah, actually, Chris,
So you're right, man.
our Thursday night, Chris had that as his show prep last night, was that there was this Republican guy, and Mitch McConnell, I guess, who's proposed a 21 be a nationwide law.
I mean, it just sounds so ridiculous because it's like we're supposed to be able to do these things at a state level, so each individual state has the ability to do what its own citizens want. The idea of passing it at a national level when it has what you want in your state doesn't affect the person in the next state, right? Like it shouldn't affect the person in the next state. So
that's my whole point, is that it starts somewhere. And then everybody likes it. A couple of states adapt it. Next thing you know, the whole country's doing it.
That's how it works.
It's not because people like it. No, it's the same thing with communism and Bolshevism and Marxism. It's like, they start out in one place, everyone hates it, but they're like, well, and they blame their failures that not everyone else is communist. So the same thing with cigarettes. They're like, well, people are just going to adjacent states or cities or towns to get cigarettes, so we got to make this thing global or national.
Sarah, here's the problem, okay? You're forcing it. When you do it at the federal level, you're forcing it on every other state in states that don't necessarily want this law, okay? It's one thing if those states that didn't want this law, did pick it up voluntarily on their own after you passed your law in your state. That's fine, but that's not what's going on. You're literally going to the national government and saying, pass this law, we're going to force it on other states that don't want this law.
Well, but the thing is, it's like banning asbestos, like removing lead from the paint.
Again, it could happen at a state level, man. It doesn't have to happen at the federal level.
I've still got asbestos siding on my house, Sarah. It hasn't been banned.
Well, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But,
well, you may not be able to use it brand new. It may be prohibited from being used in new construction, but
yeah, it's overblown to some degree. It's not like it's going to kill you unless you start tearing it, off.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah, I think we may have Dave here now. I'm going to see if I can bring him in. We're going to try him one more time. Dave, are you there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you now. All right, Dave, what do you think about Sarah's proposal that the smoking age be raised to 50?
Just so you guys know, I don't smoke, I vape.
Oh, okay.
Vaporizers
it would affect you too.
Well, it would be included.
Yeah,
definitely.
They would ban all vapes too, up to age 50.
So wait, does this change your opinion if it was vaping?
I called in because I wanted to bring up my own subject instead of smoking and vaping.
Yeah, but Dave, aren't you looking for a hot date? Aren't you looking for somebody to go out with?
I wanted to talk about my own.
Would you be willing to travel, though? I mean, we can get to whatever you were calling about, but I'm just wondering, would you be interested in traveling to, say, New Mexico to meet an older, distinguished lady?
If you guys are willing to pay for it, yeah.
Don't think that's happening.
You dog. All right, Sarah, thanks for the call. I tried. I mean, I was trying to hook her up with Dave. I don't know. Dave, what were you calling about tonight?
There's a woman on YouTube. Her name is Jacqueline Gran, and I really hate it because she's a redheaded atheist, and I don't really, everyone keeps on saying...
Wait a minute, hold on. Now, wait. Slow down. So there's a woman on YouTube. You hate her because she's a redheaded atheist. Does that mean you hate all redheads and all atheists, or only hate atheists who happen to be redheads? Or
that kind of suggests she's probably religious, right?
I just hate her. I even made videos about her.
Okay, so you don't hate all atheists or all redheads?
Neither. I just don't like Jacqueline Grant because there are so many people who support her and they keep on sending her gifts and gifts and gifts, but nobody sends me anything. Why are people sending her stuff?
Well, if I recall correctly, there was a time when somebody sent you something in my name. We can't say what it was, but I recall you doing an unboxing on your YouTube channel, Dave. So I think you're telling a lie when you say that people don't send you things.
Not all the time, but people just send her things all the time.
Well, is she pretty? Is she pretty?
What?
Is she attractive?
You can Google her name.
I don't
Jacqueline
even know.
Gran.
A Greg? G-R-E-G?
If she's a redhead, possibly.
No, Jacqueline Gran. Jacqueline Gran.
How do you spell that last name? I can't understand it.
G-L-E-N. Jacqueline Gran.
G-A-E-N?
Dave, have you tried taking some cues from her, maybe?
Her name is Jacqueline Glenn.
Oh, Glenn? G-L-E-N?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe if you pretty yourself up, you would get people sending you stuff too.
She's not a real redhead. All right, 2 out of 10.
She's cute. She's cute. The Millionaire Matchmakers is what she's called.
Ian's gotten desperate in his old age, and his standards have fallen, man.
Dude, he's not even that old.
What do you hate about this lady? Do you hate? Do you hate her because she won't talk to you?
No, why are people sending her stuff and not even sending me stuff? Or why are people actually giving her things all the time?
Because it's a free market, Dave. It's a free market. People prefer her product to yours.
You're gonna have to
Big
dress
time.
yourself up and make yourself sexy.
He can't even come close to this girl. 855-450-FREE. That's
Even a fake redhead.
855-450-3733. We got more coming up. Free Talk Live.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading around $1,276, silver at $14.98, and Bitcoin is trading around $5,275. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, U.S. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has proposed the U.S. cut military and economic aid to Israel worth $3 billion a year in response to the re-election of Benjamin Netanyahu as prime minister. Ocasio-Cortez explained that there are many ways to protect the Palestinians from Israeli violations, including a bill proposed by Democratic Minnesota Representative Betty McCollum that would prohibit U.S. aid to Israel from being used to detain Palestinian children in the West Bank. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged during his election campaign to annex illegal settlements built on the Palestinian lands in the West Bank. Ocasio-Cortez's view on Israel and Palestine has received extensive media attention. The Democratic candidate expressed her support for the Palestinians during the Land Day protests in Gaza, in which 135 Palestinians were killed by Israeli occupation forces. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices, with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The Trump administration has declared the most severe new sanctions against Cuba since President John F. Kennedy imposed an economic embargo banning all trade with the communist island in 1962. Speaking in Miami on April 17th, the anniversary of the United States' failed 1961 invasion of Cuba's Bay of Pigs, National Security Advisor John Bolton announced the end of virtually all non-family travel to Cuba and placed new limits on the money Cuban Americans can send to family on the island. He also said the U.S. will now implement a 23-year-old law aimed at blocking both U.S. and foreign investment in Cuba, first passed by Congress in 1996 as part of a broader sanction package against Cuba, but put on hold because it triggered immense opposition among U.S. allies. The anti-media reports the harsh new sanctions reverse the disastrous Obama-era policies and finally end the glamorization of socialism and communism. That's according to Bolton. Trump's decision activates a long-suspended 1996 provision of U.S.-Cuba sanctions that allows Cuban Americans to sue in U.S. courts any company that benefits from private property of theirs confiscated by Fidel Castro's regime. In a highly disturbing video, 4 black men were chained to a table in a prison, while a single white man was allowed access to a knife to brutally stab them. The graphic and hard-to-watch video is now the subject of a federal lawsuit filed earlier this month in the Southern District of Ohio. The Free Thought Project reports the 2 officers, identified only by their surnames of Fay and Dalton, laughed as 4 inmates were brutally stabbed in June of 2017, according to the suit. The cornerstone to the lawsuit is the surveillance video showing the horrifying event unfold as 4 men played cards only to be repeatedly stabbed by a psychotic and violent white supremacist. Shemaki Pugh and Maurice Lee are the plaintiffs in the lawsuit, which is seeking a modest $75,000. The suit claims the victims' civil rights were violated, including that they suffered cruel and unusual punishment because of the inaction of the prison guards. As the men are bleeding from their stab wounds, one of the guards says, quote, "We should just let them die." Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
I was doing my regular 11 o'clock security sweep around the perimeter of my house when I noticed a couple of young people having intercourse in the front seat of a car out in the street. So I ran inside and I grabbed my video camera. As you can imagine, I stood in those bushes for over 20 minutes watching these 2 degenerates grind against each other, and I'm thinking, this behavior is simply unacceptable. Now, if you think this is an isolated incident, you are dead to rights wrong. I have 36 hours of footage to prove it that I have personally collected from sickos just around my own town. For example, I saw perverts having sex in swimming pools clearly visible from the roofs of adjacent buildings, on boats that anybody could see with a telescope, at night on the beaches where they can easily be watched by anyone hiding behind a fence wearing their night vision goggles. It's simply disgusting.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free, bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do still have Dave in Poughkeepsie, New York, on the line with us. He held on. I had more questions for him. He's very upset about a woman on YouTube named Jacqueline Glenn. Now, I have never heard of Jacqueline Glenn before Dave's call tonight. Have either of you heard of Jacqueline Glenn? Okay, apparently she's an atheist. I don't know if she's known for anything else besides being, pretty attractive, being an atheist, being on YouTube. Maybe she is. I think there was some sort of show, according to the internet, that she was affiliated with Millionaire Matchmaker. It might have been like a TV show or something like that. Not real clear. However, a quick search for Ms. Glenn did, of course, pull up her YouTube channel entitled Jacqueline Glenn. And what do you know? There's a video with 87,000 views featuring none other than Dave in New York. Dave, did you know that this woman actually made an entire video about how you are pretty nuts?
Yes, I do know because I saw it.
Yeah, I'm just going to play a brief clip here for our audience. I can't play much of it because she says words that you can't say on broadcast radio, but I think the very first several seconds here will give some indication of why Dave is really upset at Jacqueline Glenn. Here it is.
Today is my birthday. Woo! Getting old. Yeah. So I decided to make a video to just fill my heart with warmth and love from all of you guys. So that's definitely what this video is going to be.
Stop supporting Jacqueline Glenn. She has never, ever, ever gotten naked once on camera.
That's what this is all about, isn't it, Dave? That's why. You're not mad at her because she's an atheist or she's got red hair, as you initially had said on your call in the last hour, but it's because you wanted to see her naked. You scoured the internet to try your damnedest to find pictures of this girl naked, and you couldn't find it, so you made a rant video about why on earth would someone support?
Is she teasing the viewers just out of curiosity, or does she actually have some sort of top on?
No, she's got a top
and
on.
She
Okay.
goes on and on about me and so on and so forth. I wish she would do porn, you know?
Okay, well, at least you're coming out, you're being honest here with us, Dave, about why you're bothered by this young lady. Is it your belief that everyone who is an attractive female on the internet should get naked for you?
It's just, people keep on sending her things, and they should send me things, Stop supporting.
So you're
Jacqueline
jealous
Glenn.
on top of that. Number one, you want to see her naked. You're mad that you haven't. And number two, you're mad because, let's be honest, she's way more popular than you are, probably way more popular than we are. That's just the way things are.
Dave, there's a site out there called I think it's youporn.com, right?
Yeah.
Go to it. You're going to find, I'm sure there's plenty of other
PornTube or whatever.
But why are people sending her things? Why do people keep sending her stuff? It pisses me off.
Okay, well, let me try to explain this to you, Dave. Now, you know what it's like to be a lonely man, right? You haven't had a girlfriend in a number of years. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of lonely men on the internet now have a way of at least feeling like they're connecting with an attractive female. So this woman makes videos. She has a mailing address. People send her things in the mail. They want her attention. That's what I believe it's about. They want the person that they find attractive, who's on the internet, to acknowledge that they exist. And one of the best ways to do that...
I made some videos stating that she should do porn.
Yes, that's correct. And she has acknowledged that you exist. However, it was not in a very positive fashion. And like I said, I can't play more of this video. It's 11 minutes long. She goes through a couple of haters who aren't Dave, and then about halfway through the video, and I'll put the video link on our social media, Twitter, Mastodon, and Telegram, and folks can see this for themselves. I also already dropped it in our Discord chat so the folks there can see it. But so does that make any sense to you, Dave, that somebody who wants attention from an internet person, if they send that person money or if they send them some sort of gift, then there's a chance, like some of these YouTube people will do unboxings on their YouTube channel. Oh, I got a gift. I should record this and, show themselves. Does she do that, Dave?
Attention.
Huh?
I want attention.
Yes, we know.
Oh my!
Do.
Okay, and after listening to Dave's call during Radical Agenda today, I have to say, Dave, you are the most petulant man-child I have ever seen. You're like a proto-millennial. You want everything your way, exactly how you want it right now, but you're not willing to give any of the work into getting it done.
Dave, you're getting tons of attention already.
So you were listening to Chris Cantwell today, huh?
Huh?
So you were listening to Chris Cantwell today?
Yeah,
huh?
I listened. It was his first episode in a while, so I listened. And yeah.
So what?
Yeah, because Chris Cantwell was on. Chris Cantwell was on today.
Okay. So?
and you listened because I called him today.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
that's
referring
what
to.
he
And you did the
referenced.
same. You had the same exact behavior as you do every
Did
time
he call
you call
with the same complaint? Did he call Chris about this girl?
No, he talked about something else that I won't mention.
Well, at least he didn't call about the same damn thing.
Good point. Yeah, that's
every single show, like Sarah does.
Yeah,
you know that's what she does.
like
She doesn't just call our show.
behavior.
Right. Well, I mean, Dave's definitely a nut job, but at least he's a little more entertaining. Now, Dave, so you said you want attention. Unfortunately, in this life, you weren't born as a hot young female.
They have a solution for that now, though.
I don't think you could make Dave into a hot female, no matter how much money that you poured into him.
That's true. Maybe just into a lady.
There's plastic surgery and
Lady-like.
everything, but it can't. To some extent, it's garbage in, garbage out.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And look,
but
Dave, I'm not
people
saying
keep
I'm
on
great
sending
looking or
herself.
anything, huh?
People keep on sending her stuff, and people should send me stuff.
Yeah.
I'll do one.
Well, why don't you give out your address?
It's P.O. Box 313.
You got a
Pleasant
P.O.
Valley, New
box.
York.
Nobody can send you anything with a P.O. box, Dave. Don't you know anything about P.O. boxes? You can't send UPS or FedEx to a P.O. box.
Yeah, you can.
No, you cannot. You can send postal service packages to a P.O. box, but you cannot send UPS or FedEx or DHL or any other private carrier. So if somebody wanted to FedEx you a box of whatever, they couldn't do it. But go ahead, give out your P.O. box address.
There are only a few people who have my home address, and I don't.
You
want
mean
to
your
give out my
house
home address.
in the welfare?
It was public Section 8 housing.
What was it? Where were you staying?
no.
Wasn't it at like a battered women's shelter at one point?
Yeah, I know. I moved out of the BWS back in 2016.
The battered women's shelter. Okay. So where are you now?
I still live in Poughkeepsie, but I don't live at the BWS anymore.
Right. Is it in your own house that you pay rent for, or does the government pay for it?
It's an apartment complex.
That didn't answer my question. Still waiting for the answer.
Dave's been unemployed since 2013, so Ian, I think that answers your question.
Somebody's paying for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, so Dave, you're on welfare, aren't you?
It's not welfare. I am retired.
Well, okay, so that, I mean...
So Social Security, you're getting Social Security checks?
So he did pay into it at least, presumably. You did pay into Social Security at some point, right?
How old are you, Dave? Are you even in your early 30s at this point?
I am 44.
Really?
Wow, how is that? That's not retire. That's not Social Security. That's not retirement anyway.
Well, I mean, anybody can retire.
It's his excuse because I guess somehow Dave has a little bit of shame that he doesn't want to admit that he's on the dole, that he's a parasite.
I worked all my life, okay? I worked.
No, you didn't.
No, you're not.
You're 44.
Yes, I did. You don't know me. I worked there from the 1990s all the way up until 2013.
Do you at least have some sort of disability where you're seeking from?
Does he have a disability? Do you mean by that a physical disability or a mental disability?
I mean a disability of some kind where you can't work.
It's called being
been
lazy.
working from the 1990s all the way up until 2013.
Okay, that's 6 years ago, Dave. That's 6 years ago.
The question is, can you
He worked
work?
from 1999 until 2013, so like 15 years or less.
No, 90. I've been working since 95 all the way up until 2013.
All right, so Dave, he has a YouTube channel called My Own Damn Channel, but you don't have any videos on there. Why are you giving us... Oh, wait, no, you do have videos on there. Never mind. Yeah, you're posting fresh there. My Own Damn Channel, all run together as one word if you want to check out more of Crazy Dave. Thanks for the call, Dave. More coming up here. It is Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com with just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells,
and the Dynavite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynavite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. TheMorganReport.com. TheMorganReport.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
After spending more than a segment with Dave, he complains because we hung up on him, he says. Didn't get enough time. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Of course, you can join us online anytime you want over at freetalklive.com. Enjoy the features we have for you there. There's a lot of free stuff on that site. Archives that go back for more than a decade. And, of course, the webcam as well, which you can watch. Multiple cams. We've got 3 of them here. That you can watch on Twitch and DLive as well, dlive.lrn.fm. That's our new platform that, it's not our platform, but it's a new platform on which we are broadcasting the video feed. And if you want to learn how to accept cryptocurrency at your point of sale, the business that you run, maybe you got a real life mom and pop brick and mortar business, and you want to take Bitcoin, you want to take, let's say, Dash or Bitcoin Cash, Zcash, or others, you can go to helpmetakebitcoin.com, and they will walk you through the steps, and they are as easy as it currently gets. This is state-of-the-art stuff that we're talking about from the folks over at AnyPay. They've got a great app that you can load up on your point-of-sale device for iOS or for Android. The registration process, username and password, that's it. They don't even need to know who you are. There's no application. There's no bureaucrat or some functionary that's sitting there having to approve these things. You create the username and password, you're in. And then you put in your crypto wallet addresses in the back end and load up the app on your point of sale device, and you're accepting crypto. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. That's where you go to go through the steps. It's super easy. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. As we continue here, we will take your calls and thoughts. We go to Aaron. He's calling us from the UK, where it's already the morning. Well, it's middle of the night, but good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, you're on the air.
Okay, cool. So I just wanted to talk about, how the UK companies are being asked to regulate, access to, I don't know, videos that are violent or whatever.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. We were covering that in the first hour. Sure, go ahead.
So basically, I'm just because obviously I'm in the UK and it's going to affect me. To a certain point, this is kind of like censorship that isn't really, I guess it's just kind of, what do you call it?
I'm not sure.
Don't know.
I mean, it's not really censorship, but a lot of people are going to, consider this to be censorship.
Wait, why would it not be censorship?
Well, okay. I guess what I meant to say is
it's even the government doing it.
Yeah, I guess what I meant to say is if it's the if it's the government that's actually doing it, then it's censorship. But yeah, I guess you're right. If the government is forcing the companies to do it, then I suppose by proxy that is that is censorship.
If a private entity does it, I can understand the argument it's not censorship, but it's still censorship. It's just not government censorship.
Yeah, have you about this whole Article 13 thing now? They're asking for age verification for porn sites, whatever, blah blah.
Now that's definitely going to stop young people from getting porn, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You don't have a couple dollars, or even like a phone or something where you can install a free VPN service or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Or download the Tor browser. I mean, that's not possible if this law goes into effect.
Teenagers know how to do those things.
No, proxy. You can't search for proxy on Google and come up with a million proxies. That just doesn't exist either.
I mean, I have I always have VPNs and stuff, so...
I know, they already have the VPNs over there because they can't access the pirate sites.
He's 13, by the way. This guy, he's 13 years old.
Are you
he told
really?
us how old he was.
You're 13?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But, I'm just...
He's ready to go, man. He's got his VPN loaded up as soon as the porn block goes into play.
Yeah, it's like they don't even have to pass this law, and he's already got a means around it.
Man, I remember when I was 13, I think I was downloading porn from bulletin board systems back in the day.
I want to know who wasn't.
One line at a time. Yeah, you don't even know what that is. It's way before your time, Aaron. It's used to dial up. They used to have modems that made really loud noises.
Dial up. I don't remember that.
There you go. Hey, thanks. Anything else you want to share?
That last guy was, I guess, interesting, and I'm probably going to send him a glitter bomb or something. So yeah.
Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Well, that would count as getting something, right?
It would.
A glitter bomb. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. If you want to reach Crazy Dave there in New York, he does have his own YouTube channel, my own damn channel, and he's complaining in our Twitch chat room right now, so you can find him there as HVGuy313 there in the Twitch chat. As we continue, we go to Bad Slave. Hopefully he will hear us calling for him and turn down whatever it is he's listening on. Bad Slave is calling us, I presume, from New Hampshire on the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. You can join those lines and sound very good, just like Aaron. And those lines are available on our Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. Bad Slave, go ahead.
Hi. Well, I'm just going to make this quickie because I've brought this up before a number of times. You're talking about the Mitchell. Is it Mitchell, the Kentucky guy?
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
The human turtle.
This is the guy that wants a age 21 cigarettes, e-juice, vaporizers across the United States.
So I'm asking, when did either the people or the states give that power to that guy? How about never?
Well, they've already done it with regards to alcohol. The reason why, from my understanding, what I learned, the reason why all 50 states have 21 as the age for alcohol is because most states obviously wouldn't want to have it. But the federal government threatened to withhold highway funding.
That's right. Yeah, that's the reason.
Yep.
Yeah, well, there's the problem is giving them that taxation in the first place. This can all end with good nullification laws right here in the Shire. So
it can, but unfortunately, there's a bill that's being proposed to raise the age to 21 here in New Hampshire as well.
Yeah. Well, at least at that point, there would be a valid state power involved.
There's no valid state power. The state is an idea that is a terrifying concept.
I'm just saying that by
I get what you're saying.
By the Constitution, they can pass laws, and
they can pass laws,
and of course, nothing is a Republican form of government, which means the protection of rights. Well, so I mean, you're right. They're outside of everything.
If indeed the state
we need to announce that.
If the state is a voluntary organization, which they claim to be, they claim that in the New Hampshire Constitution that all good government grows out of consent, and we know that people do not consent to the rule of the state. But yet they continue to be rulers over us. So there is no legitimate state because no state operates by consent.
Correct.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think he's got a point here in that.
Thank you for the call, Batsleaf.
It at least should be a state-based thing, not a federal-based thing, and I think that's where Slave was trying to go with that.
Well, then
even though I agree that it shouldn't be the case in New Hampshire.
There's a municipality ban on 21 and under,
and I definitely don't think that should be the case in New Hampshire. But
855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. Whether it's cigarette smoking bans or porn bans in the UK or beyond. We've also got more on this internet crackdown to come. And Elizabeth Warren has a plan, and Vincent wants to tell us about it. It's Free Talk Live.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, X-Keyscore, Boundless Informant. Hey y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. We will take your calls and thoughts about whatever's on your mind. All you have to do is dial in toll free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And in the studio with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Vincent.
Don't forget, we've also got some great features on our website. Just go to freetalklive.com and you can enjoy those. Once again, that's freetalklive.com. Another great site is liberty.menu. If you are a liberty-minded person, if you're an individual who rejects the initiation of force and who agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, then you can put your voluntarist ideas into action at liberty.menu, and that is a directory for events, businesses, and digital content. So whether you're a content creator, an events coordinator, or you got your own business you want other liberty-minded folks to know about, this is the place to be. And it's free to list the things that you do over at liberty.menu. That's liberty.menu. Use code FTL and you can get a special Free Talk Live listener badge to do that. So to continue here, earlier, Chris, you had brought in a story about a crackdown in Austria on websites requiring them to collect identification from their users.
Yeah.
Of course, we already know that many sites are doing that anyway, such as Facebook. If they suspect that you aren't who you say you are, they've hit people up demanding identification from them. We also shared some from a story from CNET.com about the UK government's new Internet Safety Czar. They now have the Home Office and Department of Culture, Media, and Sport have new measures that will be tasking social media companies with tackling a range of online problems, including incitement of violence and the spread of violent, including terrorist content, encouragement of self-harm or suicide, the spread of disinformation and fake news, cyberbullying, children's access to inappropriate material, and child exploitation and abuse content. And despite the UK ban on, or the, not ban, but the UK regulation demanding that people have to get some sort of age verification in order to go to a porn site, we had a teenager call in just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, like not even an older teenager, a young
Right.
teenager,
Well, barely
a
even
13-year-old.
barely even a teenager, just like beginning.
Who indicated that he's well versed in VPN access.
And this is previous to the whole porn law going to effect.
Correct.
He's already using it because they already block pirated content in the UK. So these teenagers are
They're already
familiar with the
experienced.
bypass technologies available.
So, according to the story here at CNET, as well as applying to major social networks such as Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, the requirements will also have to be met by file hosting sites, online forums, messaging services, and search engines. So this is just a straight up across-the-board regulation for the internet. This isn't just social media.
This is the UK.
This is the UK.
Oh wow! I didn't realize it extended to like file sharing sites.
Apparently, it does.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was only if it was like two-thirds of the content was porn.
No. We're not talking about porn sites here. This isn't the. We're not talking about the age restrictions on porn sites. We're talking about
this is
a crackdown.
Different set of laws.
This is a crackdown on online harms. There's a white paper that the government wrote called Online Harms.
So this hasn't passed yet.
It says here they're moving to establish this. So I don't know.
Okay, so that means it hasn't passed.
I don't
probably.
know.
So that's okay. So that's interesting. So
it's not clear.
So this is additional on top of the porn laws. Then sounds like
the UK government is trying to decide whether to appoint an existing regulator to the job or to create a brand new regulator position purely for this purpose. So it's like something they're moving towards, but they haven't quite figured out in which direction they want to go.
Yeah.
Initially, the position will be funded by the tech industry, which means by raising prices because they're paying taxes, so costs are going to go up. Advertising prices are going to go up in order to pay for this compliance. Initially, the position will be funded by the tech industry, and the government is debating a levy for social media companies. That's a tax, folks.
You know, I wonder what happens when I would really love to see a large company just quit the UK market, just
to
get
leave.
out.
Yeah,
just leave. I mean, seriously, like there's not exactly a lot of alternatives to, like, say, Facebook to begin with. And while you may not need Facebook, I am sure that the public in the UK is not going to handle having Facebook taken from them, right? Like, if you want to get the population to stand up and rise up, all you got to probably do is just block UK users, and this law won't even pass, I bet.
You think?
I suspect.
I don't know.
But they have to do
people
it.
do love
these
Facebook.
companies have to, they have to have their,
They don't have the cojones. They don't have the huevos for that.
They don't, but they should.
The era of self-regulation for online companies is over, said Digital Secretary Jeremy Wright in a statement. He said further, quote, "Voluntary actions from industry to tackle online harms have not been applied consistently or gone far enough." Unquote. The measures announced by the UK Monday are part of a larger global move toward greater regulation for big tech. The efforts originated in Europe but have been gaining traction in the US, as well as with the leaders of tech companies, including Mark Zuckerberg and Tim Cook. Just a few weeks ago, we read the summary of Zuckerberg's essay that he wrote on why they should be regulated.
He wants a universal coverage, a universal standard law, right?
Right, that he, of course, writes what it's going to be.
Right, of course he wants to write it, too.
At a time of great upheaval in the UK, the government is deciding to stand up to Silicon Valley tech companies while hoping they'll continue to create local jobs once the country has departed the EU. There are still some elements of the new regulatory process that are up for debate. The chairman of the Parliament's Digital Culture, Media and Sport Committee, which recently published a report on fake news that branded social media companies as, quote, digital gangsters, said it's important that the regulators... Is that the pot calling the kettle black in that case?
Well, they're literal gangsters,
right?
So there's a slight difference.
Well, he's the chairman of the Digital Committee. Said it's important that the regulator has the power to launch investigations when necessary. He said, quote, "The regulator cannot rely on self-reporting by the companies. In a case like that of the Christchurch terror attack, for example, a regulator should have the power to investigate how content of that atrocity was shared and why more was not done to stop it sooner."
You
know, they were bragging about deleting like 1 million plus of these videos from the Facebook platform. What more could they have done?
There isn't anything they could have done, because the reality is that a time in which they had to react was not sufficient. By the time they were, even despite the fact that they had tons and tons of people reporting, actually, I don't even know if they did have tons of people reporting it. The point is that basically they didn't have time to react in the first place, but as soon as it did happen and they were made aware of it, they reacted, and they overreacted with overwhelming response. So the fact that they're being criticized for it,
not good enough,
like
not fast enough.
The government is even less efficient at like making stuff happen. So
they suck at everything.
How on earth is a company, a private entity, supposed to magically make it disappear before it's even been started streaming? Right, like before anybody's even notified them of it. Like, this is just insane.
Any stream with gunshots in it should automatically be banned. I mean, it's just, how would you know? How you have to get an alert from a user that something offensive is happening. Then some administrator needs to take an action against that thing. They then can ingest the hash of the video. That way they can block that particular video from being uploaded, but then the people who know how to change videos around, somebody will reverse it, somebody will crop it, somebody will, there's these different techniques that they have to make it so that the auto detection system doesn't detect it.
The thing that drives me nuts is that they don't even understand this concept of jurisdiction, right? Like, they have jurisdiction over like their country. They don't have jurisdiction over, other companies in other countries. So you're going to have those videos that do get streamed and then get blocked, still hosted somewhere else. I mean, are you going to block the rest of the internet because some of those other sites don't have? Well, I mean, that's what they're suggesting.
Well, no, they can't block as much as they would want to.
Yeah.
They can't block the rest of the internet without completely getting rid of the internet and having some sort of intranet within the UK that only certain, like North Korea, right? Like, you can't access sites outside of their little bevy of state-run sites.
And even North Korea has been ineffective as far as blocking content, because it gets sent in on like DVDs and flash drives now,
smuggled in somebody's
The idea that they're going to be successful at blocking the rest of the world is just absolutely insane.
They won't be, but they don't have to be successful at blocking the rest of the world, because if they can block it on Facebook, they've effectively blocked the content for most people, because most people won't leave Facebook.
There's no way they're going to achieve that without shutting Facebook down.
855-450, freeze the toll-free number, 855-450-3733. If you want to join us, it's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico-Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico-Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico-Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here,
I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Open phones for you if you want to join us here. We're talking about the internet crackdown that's coming. Maybe not quite yet to where you live, but it's coming. It's hitting the Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Austria, apparently even. And it's only a matter of time before they try to crack down, probably in the United States. Will the internet survive it? I say it will, because the geeks are pretty good about running around the government's attempts, the government's pathetic attempts to try to control the internet. Of course, we have alternative methods of getting to websites like Tor, which ironically was created with the help of the government in the United States. But regardless, it is a useful system for anonymizing.
You know, it's humorous. Even without Tor, countries have had issues blocking it. Like Telegram was a great example. They failed to block Telegram.
Who was they? The Russian government?
The Russian government failed to block Telegram. They blocked millions of websites in the process. So the collateral damage was just amazing, and yet they still failed to block Telegram.
Oh, by the way, you can still access our website over at freetalklive.com, specifically to join the AMP program over at ampamp.freetalklive.com, just like RV Chris has done. RV Chris, that's Chris with a K, is a gold amplifier. That means that Chris is giving $10 a month to the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. If you like what we do here on Free Talk Live, and some of you are new to the show, so you don't know exactly what we do, some people are upset. Actually, it was Dave from earlier, but he's not the first person to complain about the fact that we have commercials on this show, because a lot of internet shows don't have them. And, well, that's because we're on the radio. We're on broadcast radio on 190 radio stations, so we've got to have commercials in order for our local radio stations to be able to run their local ads. So there's reasons for all those things existing. But if you like the idea that we're on 190 radio stations around the United States, and you'd like to hear that we're on 100 more, maybe hit 300 at some point.
Isn't there a cut version of the show too, without a lot of the advertising?
Yeah, the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the complaints are not really valid.
Well, I mean, for people that are watching live, there's no way to get around the commercials.
That's true,
right?
But I mean, I think it's like not really a very. I mean, the complaint's kind of like mute.
Well, for you and I, it might be, but for young people on the internet, people on the internet are spoiled. They're not used to. They're not used to having a bunch of advertising.
It's like you're doing your own pirated version, of the show. Like, it seems just absolutely insane to be critical after that.
They probably don't even know we have a podcast.
Yeah, I guess, but you bring it up every so
here
often.
and there.
Yeah,
we don't honestly talk a lot about the podcast.
No,
we probably should, but we don't.
Yeah, but I mean, there is. I think I know he was here in Keene actually on the. I think he was even on the show, wasn't he?
Who?
The guy who does the cuts of the.
Clips. The Free Talk Live clips. You mean?
The shortened version of the show where he cuts out all the
you're talking about the
advertising
digest.
Highlights. He's
Yeah,
talking
the
about with
digest.
Riley, I think.
Yeah,
you guys named him.
Riley. Yeah.
You're talking about the digest, so that's like a 20 to 30 minute version of Free Talk Live, where he kind of takes out his favorite clips from the show and boils it down to the best parts, or what he considers to be the best parts, and it's something he's been doing now for a few years, I think. So kudos to Riley for doing that. You can find those as part of our podcast. If you want to get our podcast, just go to feeds.freetalklive.com. You'll find our RSS feed there. The full one has our full shows and the digest in it. And then there's one that's just our full shows, and there's one that's just the digest. So if you prefer one or the other, you can just subscribe to those or subscribe to the full thing, and then you decide which ones you want to listen to and when you want to listen to them. So yeah, there's different ways to get our show. Podcast is one of them. But if you want to listen live, we do have commercials, because that's part of live delivery of audio in the format that we are creating the show for. I mean, we're first and foremost a radio show, but we've brought in these other platforms like Twitch over at twitch.lrn.fm, or the new DLive platform over at dlive.lrn.fm, and we're doing special shows just for those platforms as well. In fact, tonight we're going to have a Free Talk Live after show.
And those
called
are ad-free, right?
Yes, they are.
So if you, dude, I mean, there's so many other options for people who are complaining if they don't like the ads.
There definitely are options. You're right about that. So check us out over on the AMP program like RV Chris, and support what we do over at amp.freetalklive.com. It helps us get the ideas of freedom and liberty out into more places, more radio stations, more internet listeners. It's amp.freetalklive.com. And yes, you get cool perks too as a result of being an amplifier. So please drop in there and do that. You can use credit card, you can use PayPal, you can use Bitcoin BTC to get signed up at amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, we're talking about the crackdown coming against internet freedom, specifically. As you would expect, they're targeting the big guys. They can't do anything about some website that's hosted outside of the United States.
Except for block them.
They can block them, but you can always create a new website. So then they'd have to find out about your new site in order to block that.
And that's true. And that's exactly how the pirate sites get around the blocks.
Like the Pirate Bay.
Okay, right, exactly. They just have multiple websites, and you create a new domain every day. And
right.
By the time the censors catch up, it's you've already got your million viewers.
The only way they could stop that from happening would be if they only had specific sites they allowed. So if they blocked,
they'd have to whitelist, yeah.
Right. If they blocked all sites with the exception of Facebook, with the exception of, Google, with the exception of these specific approved sites. And who knows? Maybe it'll get that bad someday. But it's not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, if they did go to a whitelist, though, they really would ultimately end up in a situation where, I mean, I don't even think a whitelist could work, just because it's like you'd be blocking most of the web base.
It wouldn't be an internet anymore.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the internet. It would be. I don't even consider them to have internet access in the UK.
Really,
personally,
just because it's so restricted.
Well, as soon as you start blocking sites, you're not really, or blocking ports even. I don't think you can't. I think that's fraudulent to call it internet access, because what the internet is it's not an intranet. An intranet, you might have access to certain websites, but that's still an intranet. If you have access to every website
Intra meaning within.
internet, right? Exactly.
Intra meaning within.
Exactly. Then it's the internet. So blocking any ports or any websites, it's not really the internet. So even if your school has a firewall and you can't receive packets basically you can send information out and you can get stuff from websites, but you can't actually host a server. That's not really internet either.
Yeah, totally agree. Let me go on here with just a little bit more of these bureaucrats saying the companies aren't doing enough. They need to do more. They need to do more faster. Venyas Ali, the head of the Policy for Industry body Tech UK, welcomed the publication of the white paper, but said in a statement that some elements of the government's approach remained too vague, and that the government will need to be clear about exactly what it wants the regulator to achieve. The, quote, duty of care that the government believes social media's companies have toward users is not clearly defined and open to broad interpretation, she said. The Internet Association, which represents a long list of the world's biggest tech companies, said it's important that any proposals are practical for platforms to implement regardless of their size. Look, we want to be regulated, please, but just let it be practical. Let us be able to handle this the way that we think we should. Don't tell us what to do. Well, they're going to tell you what to do, and you're either going to do it or you should leave. And I think you've got the right idea, Chris. These companies ought to pack up shop and say goodbye to the United Kingdom, close any offices, that they have there, fire any employees that they have there.
They need to react now and not wait.
Right.
Because if they don't react now, other countries will get the same idea and they will do the same thing, and we will be in a worse position tomorrow.
This is a spokesperson for Twitter saying the company is committed to prioritizing the safety of users, pointing to more than 70 changes the platform made last year. She said, quote, "We will continue to engage in the discussion between industry and the UK government, as well as work to strike an appropriate balance between keeping users safe and preserving the Internet's open, free nature."
No, that's exactly the opposite of what you're doing. This is why I'm not on Twitter, and I don't like, and I've never been on Twitter. And when we set up Freedom Decrypted, my Freedom Decrypted show, a tech show at freedomdecrypted.com, a tech show, we went with Mastodon over Twitter.
Yeah. Good choice.
For this exact reason. It's
a no-brainer.
You want to be in control of your own speech, not some third-party platform that's going to, give in to government the second that they pass some stupid law.
But doesn't this sound familiar to you? They want to strike a balance between keeping users safe and preserving the Internet's open, free nature.
I'm sorry, I get to hear or see anybody getting killed because of communications. At least
there's probably somebody who committed a murder because they met somebody on the internet at some point.
Yeah, but that's not the communications.
Wasn't there a Canadian guy who slaughtered somebody?
Hold on.
One lunatic, one ice pick.
There's a difference between somebody, reading something and going and killing somebody on the internet, and the communications itself killing somebody, right? You might be able to create communications.
Sticks and stones.
Right. You might be able to create a device, right, where it accepts communications from the internet, and somebody on the internet presses a button, and then somebody dies from the gun that gets shot because of that communications. But I've never even seen that, right? I mean, give me a break. This is just the most ridiculous thing. It's keeping nobody safe.
I think it was in the UK. I heard a story where some kid was trolling some adult on Xbox Live, and then he went and found the kid and killed him right there during the game. He was so mad.
No kidding. That's real?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, it was
it's still not the internet killing somebody.
It's a person killing.
Right. It's a person who did it.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Coming up, Vincent, you've got a story that we're changing gears. We're going to go away from the internet and talk about some politician and some plan, which I'm sure will be god-awful. On the way, it's Free Talk Live.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help, so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading around $1,276, silver at $14.98, and Bitcoin is trading around $5,275. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, U.S. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has proposed the U.S. cut military and economic aid to Israel worth $3 billion a year in response to the re-election of Benjamin Netanyahu as prime minister. Ocasio-Cortez explained that there are many ways to protect the Palestinians from Israeli violations, including a bill proposed by Democratic Minnesota Representative Betty McCollum that would prohibit U.S. aid to Israel from being used to detain Palestinian children in the West Bank. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged during his election campaign to annex illegal settlements built on the Palestinian lands in the West Bank. Ocasio-Cortez's view on Israel and Palestine has received extensive media attention. The Democratic candidate expressed her support for the Palestinians during the Land Day protests in Gaza, in which 135 Palestinians were killed by Israeli occupation forces. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices, with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The Trump administration has declared the most severe new sanctions against Cuba since President John F. Kennedy imposed an economic embargo banning all trade with the communist island in 1962. Speaking in Miami on April 17th, the anniversary of the United States' failed 1961 invasion of Cuba's Bay of Pigs, National Security Advisor John Bolton announced the end of virtually all non-family travel to Cuba and placed new limits on the money Cuban Americans can send to family on the island. He also said the U.S. will now implement a 23-year-old law aimed at blocking both U.S. and foreign investment in Cuba, first passed by Congress in 1996 as part of a broader sanction package against Cuba, but put on hold because it triggered immense opposition among U.S. allies. The anti-media reports the harsh new sanctions reverse the disastrous Obama-era policies and finally end the glamorization of socialism and communism. That's according to Bolton. Trump's decision activates a long-suspended 1996 provision of U.S.-Cuba sanctions that allows Cuban Americans to sue in U.S. courts any company that benefits from private property of theirs confiscated by Fidel Castro's regime. In a highly disturbing video, 4 black men were chained to a table in a prison while a single white man was allowed access to a knife to brutally stab them. The graphic and hard-to-watch video is now the subject of a federal lawsuit filed earlier this month in the Southern District of Ohio. The Free Thought Project reports the 2 officers, identified only by their surnames of Fay and Dalton, laughed as 4 inmates were brutally stabbed in June of 2017, according to the suit. The cornerstone to the lawsuit is the surveillance video showing the horrifying event unfold as 4 men played cards only to be repeatedly stabbed by a psychotic and violent white supremacist. Shemaki Pugh and Maurice Lee are the plaintiffs in the lawsuit, which is seeking a modest $75,000. The suit claims the victims' civil rights were violated, including that they suffered cruel and unusual punishment because of the inaction of the prison guards. As the men are bleeding from their stab wounds, one of the guards says, quote, "We should just let them die." Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
After vetting the 37-year-old for factors such as looks, screen presence, and film credits, Hollywood insiders unanimously agreed this week that area man Dennis Kiernan lacks the sheer star power necessary to carry a major motion picture. Industry experts spoke to reporters today about the Charlottesville, Virginia resident, who they say just doesn't have what it takes to crack into the A-list.
Love him or hate him, I think we can all agree that Dennis Kiernan is not a bankable star. He's got to have sex appeal, talent, charisma, and most importantly, that X factor. I should want to sleep with Dennis. I should want to be Dennis. Do I want to be Dennis? No.
Experts agreed the Virginia native and father of one does not have the widespread appeal required to secure a distribution deal with wide release, while also saying they had no reason to believe Kiernan would ever be capable of delivering the type of powerhouse performance that generates buzz at Sundance, Cannes, or Comic-Con.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free to join us here if you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Chris.
And Vincent.
Coming up, by the way, tonight, Freer Talk Live is an internet-only version. You touched on it earlier, Chris, when we were talking about other options that people have to listen besides listening to the live radio show. There is the not as censored version of the show, the internet-only show that we call Freer Talk Live, that will be coming up here tonight. So if you're watching us on Twitch or D Live, you will be able to continue watching after 10 o'clock Eastern, and we will start that show probably at around 10:06 Eastern on dlive.lrn.fm or twitch.lrn.fm. Vincent, you wanted to share with us a story about this Elizabeth Warren. She is a thug from Massachusetts, one of these politicians in D.C., like these Republicans and Democrats.
Senator.
She's a Democrat, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Without a doubt, yes.
All right.
So this is from Popular Science. And
this is the woman who claimed to be an Indian, right?
Yeah, she claimed she was of Native American descent, and she got into college and got all sorts of special benefits by pretending to be a minority. And then it turns out she did a DNA test, and it turns out she's like even whiter than I am, if that's possible. Right? Although this lighting doesn't help my case, but yeah. So and this is what I was surprised about that, because the title here of the article is Elizabeth Warren wants public lands to create jobs and clean energy, and as people may or may not know, the federal government owns like a lot of land, like 90% of the state of Nevada, right? And so, for someone like Elizabeth Warren, who claims to have so much care for the Native Americans, one would wonder why she wouldn't, if she were elected president, right? She's running as a Democrat, want to just give the land back to the natives, right? Instead of using it for her own purposes here. So these 650 million acres matter. So it begins here. At a stage in the 2020 presidential campaign when most candidates are posting platitudes on Twitter, progressive hopeful Elizabeth Warren has opted for a different approach. Taking to the public online platform Medium, the Massachusetts senator released a procession of detailed policy proposals. Warren's latest manifesto, shared on Monday, focuses on...
Where is this from, the story?
Popular Science.
Okay, thank you.
Popsci.com.
Yep.
Warren's manifesto, shared on Monday, focused on public lands, and it, along with public lands in general, shouldn't be overlooked. And so this is obviously a pro-Warren article, but Americans may not realize that they collectively own about 650 million acres of public land and water in this country.
Holy crap, we own that?
Oh, I didn't know it either. I mean,
cool.
Can I go set up my?
Can I charge rent?
Yeah, can I start? Can I smoke there? Could I? In the form of national parks, wildlife refuges, monuments.
Before you go on, we're joking for listeners that maybe don't understand that. We're joking about the idea that we own any of that. It's a fantasy that you are the government. You're not the government. You're not the state. The state owns that. They control it. And if you try to live on it, or you try to, do something to it, build something there or whatever, the state's going to send men with guns to stop you.
Well, the Bureau of Land Management, and to be precise, and
for
they
the
have
federal
their own,
lands,
yeah, they have their own SWAT team. That was the issue with the Bundy Ranch. They were in conflict with the BLM,
right?
So the U.S. government purchased over 1.8 billion acres of land throughout the 19th century, but over 2/3 of those original lands were allotted to individuals, corporations, and states through legislation like the 1862 Homestead Act, which encouraged Western settlement. 4 agencies manage most of what's left.
But yet most of the western half of the United States is owned by the federal government.
Oh, because, they bought it up after the fact.
Yeah, most of Arizona. It's like more than 90%, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Isn't that true of most western states, that it's like 90%?
Yeah, it's well, I think Arizona is like even worse. So if it's 90% in other states, it's like 98%.
Maybe it's 70 in the rest. I don't know, but it's a lot. It's the majority,
insane.
super majority.
Yeah.
For a managed what's up, about 26% of the total land in the United States, and the rest is held in trust for federally recognized Native American tribes. Quote, and then they have in brackets, it was their land first, after all. While past presidential candidates have tended to run on a succinct, keep public lands public stance, Warren's 1,600-word proposal brings some complexity to the issue. Here are the 5 things she wants to accomplish.
Okay.
Number 1, turn public lands into climate change slayers.
Turn public land into climate change slayers? How does land... What?
So, well, that's is a curious choice of vocabulary there. But so it says, on her first day in office, Warren says she would sign a moratorium on new leases for fossil fuel drilling on public lands, citing that energy production in these areas is responsible for around 25% of a country's total greenhouse gas emissions. She'd also bring back methane pollution standards, which set a frequency for monitoring methane emissions from gas and oil wells, and qualifications for engineers doing that monitoring. And the Clean Water Rule, which expands the scope of waterways protected under the Clean Water Act, both of which were rolled back under President Trump's administration. But it's, quote, it's not enough to end our public lands' contribution to climate change, the proposal says. It enlists them to fight against it. Warren has plans to provide incentives for renewable energy production on public lands with the hopes that it'll be
okay. So she wants to, I see. So she wants to take away the leases from the people who are currently leasing the public land and give them to other companies to lease that public land.
Ah, that explains a lot.
Gotcha.
In order to...
But to be clear, at least according to the book Healing Our World by Dr. Mary Ruwart, at least if I'm recalling correctly, it was her book. Anyway, I'll give her credit for it. A lot of these public lands that are being mined or being somehow tapped for these resources are doing it in a very unsustainable way because the company doesn't own the land. The company can just come in there and clear cut the forest, or they can, come in there and strip mine it. So that's because they don't own the land. They don't have any benefit from selling the land down the line. They're never going to sell it because it's the government's land. So why not just decimate its resources? So, I mean, to some extent, I can understand the first part of her proposal. I can understand where she's coming from with that. But of course, the best solution for public land is to stop having public land and make it all privately owned, because then private landowners would have an incentive to take care of the land because they might want to sell it someday. And you don't want to sell somebody some stripped, dry, barren husk or whatever.
That you'd still end up having to pay like property tax and anyways, and it becomes a liability. So they would, so like you're saying, they would have an incentive to make sure it was the way they used the land was
right, like a
sustainable.
Forestry company plants more trees. They have a time period on which, there's a plot where the trees are this tall, and then there's the new trees that they've planted. And if you're leasing the land, you don't have the same incentives. That's all. Sorry, go ahead with the.
And so she's hoping that the incentives for renewable energy production on public lands, with a hope that it'll be responsible for 10% of America's overall energy production. So essentially planning America. Somehow she figures out that's exactly how much it'll produce.
Failure. Central planning always results in failure.
Quote, what it does do is send a signal, and it points us in the right direction, a direction that acknowledges that our new investment should not be in dirty fuels of a past, says Sharon Buscino, a senior advisor to the National Resources Defense Council Action Fund.
And this is another thing that politicians frequently do, is they believe they know the right direction. She knows the right direction that the market should go in, and they will do whatever they can to incentivize, to subsidize, in many cases, the direction they want to see these things go in. And that's unfortunate because while many people may look at that and say, well, yeah, we need more money spent on solar power. We need more money spent on wind generation and these alternative methods of generating power. There's nothing wrong with those power generating methods. But the problem comes in when you shift whatever the normal market circumstances would be. So normally, people, I think, are interested in these things. They want to see these things developed. I think there would be enough demand in the market to see them developed without the government trying to allocate resources in that direction unnaturally. And allocating resources in that direction unnaturally also means there might be some other concepts out there that get ignored completely. Like, what if somebody could figure out a way to turn water into, the equivalent of gasoline? I mean, I'm not saying it's possible.
Well, we don't know because they confiscate patents all the time.
So the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. And because they're funding the competition to those alternative ideas, because they've determined that it's going to be solar and it's going to be this other thing. Yeah, it's Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The Free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. Themorganreport.com. Themorganreport.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio is great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free here. Bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Feel free to avail yourself of those, and then you will sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Tonight it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Vincent.
By the way, wanted to say thank you for the viewers and listeners who have found us on DLive, our new video streaming platform over at dlive.lrn.fm. We're still on Twitch, we're still on YouTube, but DLive is sort of the new hot thing ever since they poached PewDiePie from YouTube. Actually, Rich Paul and I came in here this morning. We did a morning stream at 11 a.m. Eastern Time when PewDiePie went live once again because we're kind of new to this whole PewDiePie thing, and since he was the reason why we made the move over here without ever having seen the dude's show, I heard that that DLive poached him, and so I thought, well, maybe we should be on that platform, and so we have been now for over a week. We started, I think, last Wednesday, and we're already up to, I think, close to 300 followers at this point on DLive.
Wow, really?
Which is good. I mean, by no means are we the most popular channel or even anywhere close to it.
Do you think that's because of the people who are not on DLive before the show when you started talking about it, or do you think that's actually from DLive?
I think a lot of them are DLive
just people listening to DLive and catching the show.
I think the reason why is because DLive's a smaller platform, and so when we're on, like right now, there's the chatting category on DLive. We're at number 3 right now on the chatting category, whereas if we were on Twitch, we might be way down the page by comparison. So because we're towards the top of any of these lists, the people who are just browsing and looking for something to watch, they'll see us.
Yeah, there's always something about first mover advantage, and
for sure,
this might be it.
We weren't the first mover. I mean, we're probably a year into it, but
but early mover advantage, we could say.
Yeah, we moved early enough to be relatively towards the top. So thanks to folks for following us on that platform at dlive.lrn.fm. Now, we did talk earlier today, Rich and I, about some of the critiques about DLive, and they seem to be valid critiques at this point. There's some real questions as to how decentralized, if at all, DLive actually is. There's some real legitimate questions about whether or not the Lino points are actually a cryptocurrency. It appears as though they might actually be an Ethereum token. So, I mean, that's crypto, but it's not its own crypto. And is that where they're actually going to go eventually with this, or are they going to launch their own cryptocurrency? You can't take these tokens off of the site at the moment. There's no way to actually trade them on an exchange or anything like that. So there's some question as to, how crypto is it? How decentralized is it?
Yeah, I mean, I looked for source code and things of that nature.
You couldn't find anything.
I couldn't find anything. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't do a thorough investigation or anything, but I'm like, I went to the website. I did find, I think, like some page upstream of it and stuff that was supposed to be the software or something, but there wasn't actually any sources or anything of that nature.
And then I was, just a moment ago during the break, I found a post from the DLive team saying that you can no longer purchase the DLive or the Lino points with PayPal. So they've taken away. So on their site, you can buy the points, right? You can buy the Lino points from which then you can give to your favorite channels.
But now with PayPal, I mean, PayPal doesn't
with PayPal, but not
doesn't
anymore.
allow that. So I'm
right.
wondering
That's why they probably stopped.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to necessarily. I don't necessarily think that's a sign that they're doing something sketchy. I think that's more of a PayPal.
Right. PayPal apparently doesn't want you to use their service for purchasing cryptocurrency.
Right. Exactly.
So that's ostensibly why
they probably won't allow it, I suspect, for any kind of virtual points or for games and things of that nature either. Yeah. That's my suspicion, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be. It's not specific to cryptocurrency, and that's more of like a FinCEN thing, I think, than anything else.
Well, and that's the other problem with one of the problems with DLive is you can't buy their if you wanted to buy their crypto. You can't do it with other cryptocurrency in the United States. So you have to connect to a VPN, and then the option to buy with crypto appears on their website. And so, is it a perfect platform? No, it is not. Is it decentralized? We're not sure. But it's a place where people are watching videos, and we have a video there, and you can watch us there.
Yeah, I think the main thing that it has going for it is that it's not YouTube.
It's not Twitch or YouTube.
Yeah, it's not Twitch, it's not YouTube. But as far as I think competition is good. I just don't necessarily know that this
one may not work out.
Yeah,
there's a guy who actually looked. Now I didn't check his work on this. I took his word for it, but he claimed to look at the blockchain. He claimed to look at the actual transactions on the DLive platform and found out that there was way more being paid out from DLive than was coming into DLive, meaning the channel creators, the people who are creating the content, got paid more over a certain time frame, like a month or 2 months or whatever. They got paid like a few $100,000 worth of these lineup. Like they cashed out. I'm sorry, I should say they were able to cash out a few $100,000 of Lino points, but only a few like tens of thousands were actually purchased in that same time frame. So it sounds like they're burning through their seed money from their investors is what it sounds like, and that doesn't sound like a sustainable thing. Now it's in the beginning of any business you expect to lose more than you have coming in a lot of cases, but this was a huge discrepancy between what they had coming in and what was going out.
And I'd say especially if like the PewDiePie thing we were talking about earlier, it's like for me it's similar as if I hear a company is like buying its own stock to inflate its price. Right, it's getting whatever money it gets in, investing money just to reinvest into stock, just to get more money for the initial holder. So that's how I view it. So not positive.
Do they have advertising or some way of generating revenue on the site right now?
Well, that's one of the things that makmakes this a much better site to use as a user than Twitch, because there's no advertising.
Where's the money coming from? How are you getting paid? Like
that's a good question. Because right now their cryptocurrency, and I'm putting air quotes around that, only exists on their platform. You can't trade it anywhere else. So everything's sort of a closed loop system. You buy in.
That doesn't sound like a cryptocurrency to me.
No, it doesn't.
That sounds like Facebook's probably got a similar system for some sort of points or something with it.
Facebook
and
bucks.
YouTube, and who knows
it's like
how many
Chuck E.
other
Cheese
sites.
tokens.
Right. It's not quite the same thing as a cryptocurrency. Now that's not to say it's like a system that doesn't promote content or whatever. It may still work. It may still be a great system. It's just not a cryptocurrency, right?
Well, they say they're in a testnet phase, and that of course begs the question of once they exit the testnet phase, if they exit,
do you get to keep all those points?
Yeah, what happens to the balances?
Seems to suggest that it's not real. The points,
but you're putting real money in.
Yeah, that's
if you're
a good
buying
question.
the points,
that's
you're putting real money in.
Yeah.
So who knows how they're going to handle all this, or if it's just going to go bottom up. And then, we'll find somewhere else to go. But like I said, we're there for now. So follow us over at dlive.lrn.fm. We got David. He's in New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't keep up with these judges gone banned in New Mexico. Today on the news, there's another one. This guy is Heath White. He's a magistrate judge in Torrance County in New Mexico, and he used to be their sheriff. And he's under investigation for embezzling. What he was doing, he was taking county funds and then buying guns and air compressors, welders, shelving, etc., night vision scopes, etc., etc., etc.
I mean, this all sounds like things that the cops are expected to buy with their money.
Yeah, it sounds like standard operating procedure for the government.
Hang on, David. We'll let you tell the rest of the story here in a moment, unless he was buying it for his own garage.
Oh, I'm sure there was some scam involved.
Yeah, we'll find out what the details are. 855-450-FREE. If you want to join us, you can take control of the airwaves. This is Free Talk Live.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
Complement your health with hemp-derived cannabinoid oil.
We've always believed that the closer to Earth, the better it is for our bodies. Our hemp-derived cannabinoid oil is phytocannabinoid rich, full spectrum, and organically grown. Finally, hemp made easy, clean, and effective. GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203. That's right, we cut through the red tape. It's now available at GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203.
Does this ever happen to you? Moments after you're introduced to someone, you forget his or her name. It's a common faux pas you'll want to avoid, especially if you're a job seeker. And even if you're not, here's a tip. As you are being introduced, and while you're still shaking hands, smiling, and making eye contact, say the person's name aloud. Not only does that make a deposit in your memory bank, it acknowledges the other person. And that is more than a nuance, as is maintaining eye contact. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live.
People, they like to complain about the idea that the money is taxpayer dollars. It's not really true, is it? I mean, they were your dollars until you gave them to the government.
Right.
Now they're their dollars, and they're going to do whatever the hell they damn well want to do with them.
You're right.
It is still your money in that if a thief comes and steals money from you,
it doesn't cease to be yours just because they stole it.
You still have a claim on that, but you don't have the ability to control the thief unless you actually have him in your custody. So that thief is going to go out and buy a big screen TV or do whatever, spend it on coke and whores or whatever it is that thieves do with the money that they steal. And
that's what the politicians do with it.
Yeah, you can call the thief on the phone and say, "I told you not to spend that money on whores," and he's going to say, "Well, thanks for the input."
Yeah.
Noted.
I appreciate that.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. Dial on in here toll free. You can bring up what you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You better be able to share whatever it is you're laughing about there, Vincent.
It's just I'm referred to as the long-haired hippies being the only goy, and then someone underneath it says, "Oh, I guess they're using him to attract even young goyim females, which they can exploit for sex."
Are these racists in the chat room?
I mean, I don't know. I never met them. I'm just
if they're obsessing over things like that, then yeah. I mean, pretty much anybody who uses the term goy is probably a racist,
including the Jews who use it, because goyim means cattle.
You know what's funny is the one guy I guess was calling me Jewish, and I'm 50% German. So, and like the other 50%.
Wait, how do you know?
Did
you do a DNA test?
No. Family history. So I don't technically know, I don't necessarily know, all the possible ancestry, but like back thousands of years or anything like that. But yeah.
By the way, I want you all to know about Fork Fest, unless you're a racist. If you're a racist, stay away. If you're cool and libertarian and liberty-minded, then you ought to be out at Fork Fest 2019, June 13th through the 18th. It's happening in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire at Rogers Campground. It's an incredibly lovely place to spend some time. And I don't know if we've officially announced this yet, but Chris, you have bought a sponsorship on behalf of Fork Fest of
have not
the
announced
Porcupine
this. Yes,
Freedom Festival. So I've been meaning to do a blog post about it. I just haven't had a chance to really get it done this week. So hopefully sometime over the weekend I'll do it. But yeah, we're breaking the news here. It's official. Fork Fest 2019 is the sponsor of the Porcupine Freedom Festival, which is the very festival from which Fork Fest forked off of in the first place. So I think that's a nice thing to see the two festivals kind of, promoting one another. And I think that for those who are looking for the ultimate experience, spending some time in New Hampshire, checking out what the community's like, go to both of them. Fork Fest, of course, will cost you nothing as far as tickets are concerned, because there are no tickets to Fork Fest. Now there are tickets to the Porcupine Freedom Festival, so that's a little different. But forkfest.party is the website where you can go to learn more. It's unofficial because everything with Fork Fest is unofficial. There's no board of directors. There's no, organizers. It's just
anybody who wants to sponsor something and call it Forkfest can.
Absolutely. You can call whatever you want. You don't even have to call it Forkfest. I know Rich Paul likes Bandcamp.
It goes by other names, too. Somalia Fest was a name that was going by, and there were some others as well.
Yep. Bandcamp. It's one of the ones that I think is kind of fun. So forkfest.party. Go there. You can connect to the Forkfest Telegram chat room, also the Forkfest forum, where people have been posting some threads about the things that they're planning on doing. Because that's the idea, is since it's decentralized, you have to decide what you want to do, if anything, to provide something for other people to do. So, like some people, their calling is to entertain. Maybe they want to put a musical event on. Maybe they want to do a play. Maybe they want to do a speaker series. Maybe they want to have a poker game, a poker table, or whatever. These are all things that could be done. Some of them maybe will be done. And some people want to cook for others. I hear, Vincent, you and Matt are putting together some sort of food booth.
Absolutely.
So that's very exciting. And there's, whatever people feel called to do. And maybe you feel called to just show up and hang out. You can do that too.
Yeah, isn't there some sort of man camp that's being organized?
Man Camp's going to be there. Yeah, Jay Noon, one of our co-hosts on Wednesday night, is going to be doing Man Camp. The guys from anypay.global are going to be throwing basically a dance party, from what I understand, every night.
Right. That's right.
There. And then there's a rumor that the Big Gay Dance Party may be moving. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't want to say for sure right now, because I don't.
Yeah, we should probably keep silent until we get some confirmation.
I haven't gotten a confirmation on that. But either way, the guys from AnyPay, they're super gay, so you definitely want to show up at whatever party they throw.
I'm certainly going to go.
Yeah. So check it out, forkfest.party. We go back to David in New Mexico. David, you were telling us about a judge, another corrupt judge. What's going on?
Yeah, so like I said, I can't keep up with these. Every day there's a new one, and I can't even get them out to you fast enough. This is Torrance County, New Mexico. A current judge who's still on the bench as of right now, who used to be the sheriff until recently. And when he went out of the sheriff's office and became a judge and was replaced by the next sheriff, they did an inventory of all the equipment and found it didn't match up with the purchase records, and that the equipment was not present. And so they started doing some investigation, and it turns out that a lot of this equipment was found at the home of the former sheriff, Heath White, this guy's name.
I guessed it right then. So he was buying a bunch of stuff and then just bringing it home.
Yeah, even more than that, he's got a business called Old Mill Feed Store in Edgewood, New Mexico, that was selling firearms that had been modified with money from the county funds as well.
Interesting.
And so he was liquidating this stuff. So they're looking at him for this embezzlement. It was $157,000 is what they've added it up to so far.
That's chump change.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, chump change.
I mean, at a sheriff's level, you're probably making $100,000 a year. Period. I mean, just on your paycheck.
Oh, at least $120,000 for some cops, just some cops in Manchester.
Sure.
I mean, that's the guy who arrested me was $120,000.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This isn't the first. I won't name the other. There's another sheriff that was doing the exact same thing a few years back who I don't think he ever got charged with it criminally, but he lost his job. I won't name him because he's on my Facebook. But so this isn't the first time for a sheriff doing that in New Mexico. And at the moment, we still have another sheriff, Tommy Rodella, I believe his name is, from northern New Mexico, that's in prison in Texas right now for pulling a gun on a civilian during a road rage incident. So anyway, can't keep up.
Thanks for the call tonight, David. Appreciate the story. Toll-free number if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Vincent, you were sharing with us some cockamamie plan from Elizabeth Warren about how she wants to turn the government land into some sort of fighters. She wants to make the land fight for environmental...
Climate change slayers.
Yeah, so she wants to put solar panels and wind on this government
land. That will provide 10% of the nation's energy.
It's not a whole lot, but, regardless, she's prepared to spend billions of taxpayer dollars on this.
Absolutely, yeah. So
wait. Shouldn't the government be getting paid for this, not the other way around?
Well, in theory, yeah, but we'll see.
They're leasing. They're talking about leasing land out.
That's what they're talking about. Yeah,
that's insane. If they're going to be paying somebody.
I'm just guessing. It's the government.
Oh, okay. You're speculating. I got you. I wouldn't surprise me if what you were saying was true. That's why I'm like, that's crazy.
Well, I'm sure it's going to get crazier. Let's hear more.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Proposing to make public lands renewable energy friendly isn't new. Actions were taken at the end of the Obama administration to put a moratorium on new leasing for coal mining on public lands. But Pacino says this would put policy back on track after Trump's changes and expand the moratorium to fossil fuels other than coal. So this is the next part of her plan. Put Trump's national monument rollbacks down, flip them, and reverse them. In December of 2017, President Trump shrunk Utah's Bear Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante national monuments by a total of 2 million acres, removing protections from over 100,000 archaeological sites and angering both conservationists and Native American nations. Warren says she'd use authorities given to her by the Antiquities Act, which allows the president to designate national monuments to restore monuments affected by Trump to their original size.
So, just to be clear, a monument isn't just like the Statue of Liberty
or Mount Rushmore. No.
A monument is some massive swath of land. That's what she's calling a monument, that they've cut acres, thousands of acres out of these so-called monuments.
It appears so, or at least that's what it's like under an umbrella of monuments. Right? Like, a monument, obviously we've had this Western notion of monument being like, the Greek pantheon or statues.
Just a thing, like,
but I mean,
small.
I guess it could be like a monument to the culture, right? Like, the Native American burial ground or a former village or something. That's what...
the crazy thing about this is these changes in the laws to like undo the bad stuff that has already been done is they've already undermined the industries that were operating, so they've left, and it's not even cost effective to like resubstantiate them in the United States. So like the changes that you're going to make to now allow those industries back, it doesn't. It's futile. It's a show. It's showmanship. It's not a real genuine thing that's going to happen.
Well, she is. I mean, this is just political promises from her, right?
Yeah.
Like this is a show to show her potential voters why they should vote for her.
Well, Trump does the same thing.
Yeah, they all do the same thing. All politicians do this
and
thing.
People buy it.
They do. Every 4 years, they're back in the same old scam. It's Free Talk Live. There's more coming up.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. Themorganreport.com. Themorganreport.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-919-5435. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-919-5435. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-919-5435. 1-800-919-5435.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. By the way, if you're watching us on dlive.lrn.fm or twitch.lrn.fm, then stay tuned after 10 o'clock Eastern tonight after our radio show is over, because I can't say it's uncensored because it's still censored by whatever the platform rules are, but no FCC regulations, internet only, much less censored version of the show, Freer Talk Live, is coming up. So stay tuned for that. And I think Rich Paul might be joining us as well. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. As we continue here, you, Vincent, are sharing a story about this Elizabeth Warren and how she wants to
use public lands. Well, use and not use too, right? You know, say that she wants to buy back or somehow reacquire some of the land, for like monuments they say that Trump gave away. And with the rest,
she said Trump gave away how many acres?
2 million.
2 million acres?
I'm curious, how does he even have the authority to give away 2 million acres?
Well, because the president has the authority to.
I know he's the authority to seize it. I don't necessarily think he had the authority to.
Did he
give it away?
Sell it? Did he? I mean, how
and
did
I thought
they?
he said no.
Okay, so it said. Trump shrunk the monument by a total of 2 million acres, removing protections from over 100,000 archaeological sites.
I don't understand how he even has authority to do that. And they removed it.
They do, right? And she says she the same authority he has to do that. She's going to use it to put it back.
Well, okay, so I don't even think she has the authority to put it back. I don't see. The thing is,
they can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want.
No. The law changed. Up until recently, the president's had the authority to designate lands or purchase lands, I guess, and put them under protective, like some sort of government protection. All right. My understanding is a number of years ago, under I don't know what president exactly, but one of the presidents recently, they changed that because I don't know exactly. I forget why exactly, but it was like they didn't want the presidents to be able to like to do that anymore, because I guess one president did a whole lot of that, and so my understanding was that only Congress has that authority now.
Well, I'm not sure about exactly what you're saying. It sounds right, but recently, in recent years or recent decades, Congress gave away a lot of its power to the executive, right? When the Bushes and Obama were in, and so now a lot of them are freaking out now about all the stuff that the president's doing that they think and were taught in school that they shouldn't.
So they took the power away from the president?
They just gave it. They gave my understanding is they gave away a lot of power that they should be doing to the executive, right? Like you've had executives like Obama and Bush, waging all these undeclared wars that Congress really, would actually have the power to do. They gave it away to the executive.
I'd be curious as to when it was taken away with what president and when it was given back exactly, because I'm curious. Like, was it given back under Obama?
Well, we're gonna have to do some research and figure it out because this article doesn't say. So let's see, I'll continue here. While the Antiquities Act gives the president the power to protect landmarks, Bushino says legal action currently being taken against the Trump administration argues that it doesn't give the president the power to remove those protections. If courts rule in favor of conservationists, Warren may not even have to do this if she becomes president.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Though Buccino says she'd certainly be within her rights to de-shrink the monuments otherwise.
Buccino?
That's the someone from one of these lobbying groups that's that they interviewed.
So she's analyzing this.
Yeah, she's an expert.
It is curious though, because is it not the is it not the president who has the power to do enforcement? So if he breaks the law, but he doesn't want to enforce it,
who's going to enforce it on him?
Right.
Well, exactly. That's what Andrew Jackson said when the courts ruled the Trail of Tears was illegal. He says, okay, well, the courts made a ruling. Now let's see them enforce it, which they obviously didn't. So
they don't have the power to enforce, do they?
They can order
the president that has the power to enforce.
A judge could find, in theory, they could find a president in contempt.
Oh,
in
maybe
theory.
that's how they would sort of enforce. But then how would they enforce it? Do they have their own
exactly?
bailiffs?
Jackson had control of the army at that point. So that was.
But if the court finds, I guess if the court found him guilty, they could remove his authority.
Well, now wait a minute. Isn't it true that you can't bring criminal charges against a seated president?
Yeah.
You could only impeach them, which if
Trump does that include contempt of court? Like if a judge issues an order against the president saying you must do X or not do X, and then the president violates that order, contempt isn't generally considered a criminal charge because it's not in statutes. It's just a power of the court.
Well, I imagine it would be an impeachable offense then if the president isn't recognizing the judicial authority.
That's possible.
So,
but the courts can't impeach him.
Exactly. Yeah, it's Congress that can. So that's the whole separation of powers works.
There's probably a difference between there is a difference between impeachment, which removes them from power, and a court saying you can't do this. If the president does it anyway, theoretically, they would still be able to enforce that action, probably through their own, bailiffs or something.
Mm-hmm.
And really, if you think about it, he doesn't have the power to control the military once the courts remove the president's authority to do so, if that were to come down
can't remove his authority. He's a
constitutional.
Well, I would say that
unless they reinterpret the Constitution to say that,
which they do all the time.
Right,
So it's nothing stopping them.
I don't necessarily know that. I know they don't have the power to remove his authority as president necessarily, or remove him from presidency, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they couldn't remove his ability to, maybe do something under, if he's doing, I don't know, you know what I mean?
The courts can't do it. They interpret the law. That's what they're supposed to do. If there's a disagreement between Congress and the president. Right now, it's called, I think, what's it called?
Judicial activism.
Judicial activism. And I think it's something what's ruling from the bench, or I forget exactly what exactly the term was. So, the balance of powers is all screwed up. So, it doesn't, the original rules don't matter anymore.
The court still has the power to, make a decision, right?
Sure.
So I would think at that point.
But how do they enforce it without the executive branch to do their bidding?
If the president doesn't obey the court's order, theoretically, the president doesn't have the power to act. I don't necessarily know that
the
would
president has the power to do anything he wants as long as men with guns will follow his orders.
Only within the decisions, only within a context of what's legal within what the court decides.
But that doesn't actually ever play out that way.
Well, and the court's decision isn't always, the correct one either. It's not always.
Most of the time,
what's the court going to do?
Decisions don't necessarily.
What's the court going to do if he doesn't listen? If he doesn't do what they say?
I don't know. It's a good question, but it would seem to me that the courts have the power within, as long as it's not a matter of him breaking some law, right? Like, so if he personally breaks some law, there's a difference between him breaking some law, I would say, and him acting within his presidency, if that makes any sense.
No, I'm not sure what you're saying.
I think there's two different things. Like, the courts couldn't necessarily go after him for sleeping with some woman, and that woman.
Sure, that's not a crime.
Well, no, if it was rape or something like that, they couldn't prosecute him for that, right?
Because he's a sitting president.
Until after he's that. But if it's relation to something else that's not a personal, act that violated the law, I think they might still be able to come in and
if he's violating some rule of state, you mean?
Yeah, that's not necessarily removal of his presidency. So he would still be president, but he couldn't necessarily do something. And theoretically, the military would have to comply. So they wouldn't necessarily be able to obey his
theoretically.
order.
That's where everything.
The military wouldn't have to comply if he did something that violated the Constitution, right? The military doesn't take orders from judges or senators or anything. That's
I think they do.
No, they don't.
No, from the president.
No, commander-in-chief. It's separate. No, they don't.
I would agree, but I think that the courts still overrule as far as the Supreme Court would still overrule the presidency as far as like if the president decided something.
Has that ever happened? Has the court ever reversed a presidential move of the military?
I'm not entirely sure about this, so it would maybe be something that we haven't seen before, but.
You seem really frustrated, Vincent.
No. I'm just it's a lot of speculation, so I don't know why.
We have definitely seen the courts rule on like certain aspects of the presidency, like was he actually elected president, right? Like, or who was elected president for that matter, right?
Like in the year 2000 with
we've
George
seen
Bush.
that kind of thing happen. So I'm not necessarily sure that they wouldn't have, the courts wouldn't be able to do anything in a case where it was, interpretation of the law. The president doesn't get to make the law in and of himself. It's an act of Congress, and so ultimately,
well, sure, but again, what you're talking about is all the theory behind the government.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
We all know that they don't follow their own rules.
Yeah, so, I mean, what happens in practice? Who knows?
Well, in practice, the president sends troops to all kinds of parts of the world without authorization from Congress. In fact, there was recently when he's supposed to have authorization, they're supposed to pass a war.
Well, it's because they do
declaration.
it. I believe they do it for like international work, like through as part of NATO or part of the UN. So that's the justification for it.
All right. So if you are on our feeds on DLive and Twitch, stay tuned. We've got
going to continue with this article. A lot more good stuff in it.
We'll see. We're going to change gears and get into our online-only show, which means you can call in and pretty much say whatever you can't say on the radio. So we'll talk to you in just a few minutes.
We're out of time,
guys. We are out of time for tonight, for the radio show, but not for the internet.
For the after show.
Over at twitch.lrn.fm.
Know someone.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political